Welcome to Strangeville. Welcome back to the channel, gang. My name is Kevin Strange. I am joined by legendary outlaw comics man, creator of Boneyard Press, creator of American Horrors, the film festival, and the Roku channel. I am joined by Dr. Ben, the PhD of comics, one of the most knowledgeable comics historians I know, and we are here today doing this show because Dr. Ben and I covered an incredible interview between Hart Fisher and Frank Miller, the creator of Sin City, the writer illustrator on or the writer of The Dark Knight Returns, the illustrator and writer on Dark Knight Strikes Again, and many other Ronin, Daredevil Born Again. Frank Miller, a legend. Hart Fisher, a legend. They got together and had a conversation in Hero Illustrated magazine. Dr. Ben and I covered that last week, and Hart took exception with our coverage, and he wanted to come on and set the record straight. Hart, well, first of all, Hart, before we get going there, the last time you and I met on stream was in a terrible situation. Ed Piskor had just committed suicide mere hours before, and you and I kind of tried to work our way through it. We talked for about 4 hours. We got 11,000 people that came and kind of mourned with us. Many of them in the live chat, and we haven't really spoken since. I've been all fucked up about it for months because I think Ed Piskor was the comics historian of this generation, and kind of the way I'm kind of processing all that is I got together with Dr. Ben and we decided that, hey, you guys killed Ed Piskor, the comics industry, you killed Ed Piskor, now you're stuck with us, and I ain't half the fucking man that Ed Piskor was, and but I'm still alive. They haven't killed me yet. And until they kill me, now I kind of took over the mantle, and
we must put the blame for Ed. Ed took his own life. Okay. So Ed committed suicide, all right? So Ed made his own decision on how he was going to handle his controversy. I do not agree with Ed's decision, but Ed was the one who decided to take his own life. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we must put the blame on his shoulders. He copped out, all right?
Yeah, we talked even that night.
Suicide a lot in my life. Right. I've fought with it. But Ed chose that way out, and part of it was he weaponized it. He weaponized his suicide. He totally did, and he felt helpless, and he felt that was the only way he could do it, was a kamikaze suicide bomber, and so that was Ed's thing. And for myself, we just lost in my world. We just lost John Cassaday. So John Cassaday was an artist that I discovered at Boneyard Press. His first published work is Juju Eyes, which was a Build a Bowl solo story for his partner, Nick Stone. So it was a Nicholas Stone story, and it was the very first John Cassaday published work. And I wrote it. And it was about a kid that was killing child molesters. He was going after chicken hawks. So it was a homeless kid that was killing chicken hawks, killing child molesters. And it's a great story. It's a really amazing artwork, so good. We really lost somebody with John. John was an amazing artist, and so it's this mourning process is ongoing. Like, we keep losing. Like, for myself with Boneyard Press, with the comic books I did, so many of my creators are dying, and they've been dying for years. Like, so many of the guys are gone. And with Ed's attention to outlaw comics, and the term was coined by Glenn Hammonds at Raw Comics. So Glenn Hammonds at Raw Comics is the one that came up with the term outlaw comics. But when I set out to do comic books, I never set out to do outlaw comic books. I was a fan of Stephen Bissett. I was a fan of the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I was a huge Mad Magazine fan, and Crazy and Cracked and all that stuff. I was a Make Mine Marvel. And I loved Legion of Superheroes, and I read so much of I read everything, man. I read everything. Airboy from Eclipse. I fucking loved that book. I read everything. I was a comic nerd, and I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with the fact that I was a comic book nerd. I'm okay with that. And I still am. Well, now I'm a movie geek fucking metal, all this other stuff, nerd thing. And so when you guys talked about the Frank Miller interview and you guys brought that up, it was really cool. I'm happy you did that. And you referenced the Rob Liefeld interview and you referenced the Frank Miller interview in your episode. What I'm here to tell you guys is I don't do anything for shock value. That's bullshit. That's for candy asses. Doing something for shock value is for fucking weak artists. I don't do that. I'm looking for deeper penetration. I'm looking for a deeper emotional mark. I'm looking to leave a scar. I want to leave a fucking scar. I'm not, oh, look, his penis is out. That's, get over it. Come on, that's nothing. I leave a mark. I leave a mark.
You definitely left a mark with that interview. You could tell in the way in the transcription of Frank Miller's responses to your questions. You definitely, because he even said, like, people don't normally ask me stuff like this. Normally, I'm just answering. I have the same answer.
Frank, most of these interviewers, and as a public figure, I can attest to this. Okay, when you do interviews, when you're being interviewed by Rolling Stone or you're being interviewed by Time Magazine, you do not know their agenda. Because the person interviewing you has an agenda, okay? They are going to twist what you say to suit their narrative, right? So I was friends with the editors at Heroes Illustrated. Like, people in the industry, I'm maligned a lot, but guys, I knew everybody. I knew everybody in the business. Like, okay, the late, great Gary Don Guzzo. Gary was a fantastic guy, and he was having an argument with the people at the Comic Book Price Guide. Why is my work not listed? And they classified me as an underground publisher. And I'm like, I've never been an underground publisher. I'm on the stand with everybody else. I'm in Diamond. I'm selling fucking thousands and thousands of fucking comic books. How could you consider me an underground publisher? I'm in Time Magazine. I'm on fucking Jerry Springer on CNN Headline News. So the Price Guide, fuck you, Price Guide. Fuck you, you fucking assholes. It's political. It's political. They are censoring all the way down to the value of your work. So you can't even see the Dahmer book listed in the Comic Buyer's Price Guide. Fuck you, assholes. That's political. You guys are jerks. You're not there for the collectors. You're not there for the fans. You're jerks. You're trying to be an arbiter like these Facebook censors that want to interfere with your adult conversation. You're having two adults talk. Can you imagine being on the phone and having somebody break into your phone call and go, well, we have to reinterpretate that. I believe that you are not interpreting the facts of the matter properly. So we have to talk to you about the misinformation on your phone call. That's what's happening on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. So this interview with Frank Miller, the guys at Hero Illustrated, the editors, didn't want to just be Wizard, okay? And I was friends with the main guy, Frank. And I was friends with everybody, man. I had fun. I went around and I talked to people. I'm a friendly person. And I love comic books. I love comic books, okay? So me publishing comic books, it was never about, let me put my finger in your eye. I was making the comic books I wanted to read. That was the mantra. Okay, ladies and gentlemen at home, and you're all crying like little fucking pussies, I can't get a page rate. I can't get a living wage, you fucking pussies. This is a contest, assholes. Does your shit sell? Does your shit sell? Does your name value your $50 a page or $200 a page? John Cassaday at one point was getting like $400 a page, and he earned it. He fucking earned it, you guys. And his shit sold, and he was awesome. Nobody owes you a wage. Nobody owes you a living wage, assholes. Grow up. Fucking grow up. You don't get a blue ribbon to show up at work. Okay? This fucking candy ass, this bullshit. My interview with Frank Miller was two professionals talking. Okay? So this notion of like, oh, Hart's such a dick for telling Rob Liefeld his artwork sucks to his face. Oh, you mean I was honest with him? Oh, you mean
that's the thing? Yeah, no, nobody else. I think I mentioned that in the video. Nobody's honest with these guys, especially because that's what's crazy about those. What's crazy about those two interviews in particular was you managed to cross those two guys' paths at their absolute peaks. You talked to Rob right after he left Image, and you talked to Frank between What
I
it
knew
was,
all
it was
those
while
guys
he was
before
doing.
that happened. When I did the
Yeah.
Kill Image book, everybody at home, you need to understand, everybody at home, this is a small business. I talked to Rob. I talked to Todd. Jim hid from me. Jim was afraid of me. Jim hid. Okay. Jim Lee hid. Rob Liefeld came up to the booth and shook my fucking hand. I got to give it hats off to Rob. He knew it was a gag. His wife was terrified. His wife thought I was going to come kill them. And Todd's wife was a little concerned, but it's Mad Magazine. It's a spoof. I don't hate them. I don't know those guys. Like, I don't hang out with them. I'm not having problems with them. I don't know them. I don't hate them. I don't like Todd. I don't like Rob's work. I don't like his art. It sucks. Okay. Why am I an asshole for telling somebody, hey man, this hamburger you made for me is raw. This chicken you just grilled for me is raw. It's not cooked all the way through. Am I a dick for telling you your chicken sucks? Am I a dick? I'm asking you guys a question.
I don't think so. I think that, being honest to guys when they're at the literal peak of their stardom takes balls.
We're professionals. We're professionals
But
talking together about your work. When I'm doing martial arts, okay, when I'm training with Gene the Bell and Gene's choking the shit out of me, I'm not faking it. Okay.
I think we talked about that.
He choked the shit out of me. All right. I'm unconscious. That's not faking it. All right. So I come from a martial arts background.
I think we talked about that maybe
privately.
privately.
It sucks. It sucks. Okay.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend and say, oh, your Taekwondo is so good. Oh, your kicks are so fabulous. That's going to get you hurt in my world. In my world lies hurt. Okay.
Yeah, we talk a lot.
You get killed.
Me and Dr. Ben talk a lot about that, but privately, like when we're having phone calls late at night in our cups. I talk about how most of the guys in the comics industry are absolute beta male pussies, and they would rather gossip behind each other's backs and create drama that way.
They constantly, like, I see what's going on, and I'm like, why is Comicsgate upset with Ripperverse? What the fuck is this stupid conflict? Can't you guys just make some cool comic books and go sell some cool comics? What's all this aggro? What is this? I didn't have that, okay? With Boneyard Press in the 90s, guys, I didn't stab the other indies in the back. I teamed up with Everett Hartsoe at London Night Studios. I teamed up with all the other creators. What did Hart Fisher do? I had a program where you give me a free page ad in your book, I'll give you a free page ad in my book.
Which is how it fucking should be.
We are growing the audience. We are growing the community. So at American Horrors, I have special advertising packages that started, like, you could have an ad on American Horrors for 150 fucking bucks, and people are going to see it. Not a bot. No bots.
Right.
No scroll throughs, no swipe buys, none of that Tinder, Facebook bullshit, not a 3-second play. Every time your promo runs on American Horrors, it's going to get seen by at least 100 to 280 people every time. Not a 3-second view either. For everybody at home who actually wants to grow their audience, advertise on American Horrors, because you're going to see people. Not bots. Most of Facebook is filled with bots, okay?
Yeah.
That's
all
big
the social
thing.
medias.
If you've ever read the deep dive into the Twitter files from Elon Musk and Matt Taibbi, okay, people at home, I'm a serious researcher, all right? I was supposed to be a chemical engineer. I was not supposed to be a mad artist. So I'm kind of a crazy genius. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. It doesn't mean I'm perfect. I fuck up a lot. But Frank Miller, why did they have Hart Fisher interview Frank Miller? Let's put this in perspective. I'm the only creator to ever sue Marvel Comics and win. Okay? That's not in the public. And the Hells Angels motorcycle gang helped me. Yeah, that's right. I'm the only comics creator to sue Marvel Comics and win for copyright and trademark infringement. Thank you. Thank you, comics historians, for giving me my credit. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's here now.
Aggro today because I'm up early. When I get up early, I'm a little bit more. I haven't had my coffee yet, and I've been dealing with all kinds of stuff. We've got the American Horrors Film Festival is happening this weekend. So I've got like 60 creators flying in from all over the world, and I'm juggling all this stuff. And so your interview hit, and I'm in the bathtub yesterday trying to decompress, and I'm listening to this, and I'm like, no, I did not ask Frank Miller these questions for shock value. I did not ask him these questions to provoke him. I have the original tape. It's a 45-minute phone conversation, and I'm getting ready to release these.
Right on.
That's
My
awesome.
interview with Rob Liefeld, it took 3 hours. That's a 3-hour phone interview. That's a hardcore. The first hour, it took me a while to break down the wall.
Yeah.
Especially as the Kill Image creator, because
Right.
he had to understand, and we talked a little bit at shows, but he had to understand, I don't hate him. I don't hate him at all. I just, it's a gag. Kill Image was a gag. Kill Marvel was a gag. Marvel Can Suck My Cock t-shirt was deadly serious. That was not a gag. Fuck you, Marvel, and fuck you, Disney.
You got great responses out of both of those guys. And again, what impresses me the most is that they were at the height of their industry power, which means they were at the height of getting their ass kissed by just about everybody because they wanted to be in their orbit. And you and I, Hart, we've talked privately also about, I can tell that you come at everything from that martial arts background, and I have a martial arts background in jiu-jitsu.
I do everything, and also swimming. I was a long distance swimmer. All right. So when you're a long distance swimmer since the age of 9 years old, so since the age of 9, when you're in the pool, you motivate you.
Right.
You're fighting the clock. Who are you racing in the pool? You're racing yourself. All right.
Right.
So from the age of 9, what do you do in meditation and yoga? Okay. I do hardcore meditation. I do hardcore chi training. My martial arts are serious. They're not just so I could punch somebody in the face. My martial arts training is very serious. And I've trained with some of the best people in the world. Okay. For real. The best in the world.
Oh, Judo Gene LaBelle. There's nobody better. That motherfucker
Gene
is
LaBelle, Benny the Jet Urquidez, and of course, my great friend, Gokor Chivichian. Gokor is a wonderful guy that is he's from Armenia. He's Armenian. And he's a living national treasure of the country of Armenia. And I get to say, that guy's my friend. All right. That's my friend. That's a guy I get to call. And I haven't talked to Gok in a while, but that's who trained me. And it's military martial arts. Okay. When I did Taekwondo, I trained with Sung Lee. And Sung Lee was a political science professor at the University of Illinois. And he was from the Korean Army demonstration team. So I learned Taekwondo, the killing Taekwondo, not the pity patty bullshit. I learned the military kill people Taekwondo from a second-degree black belt in the Korean Army demonstration team. He was from the Korean Army demonstration team. That's hardcore. And he was a lovely man, and he was super smart, and he played guitar. He loved Creedence Clearwater. And I learned with him. And the other guys I trained with were like the Ho brothers, who were world wushu champions. And they did the stunts in the turtle suits, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
So when I say my martial arts background, it's hardcore. It's serious. It's Gene LaBelle. It's Gokor. It's so many other people that Gokor brought in, because when you travel in the circle of greats, you get to meet all these other people. So because of Gene, I got to be at his roast and sit there and have drinks with Bob Wall, the villain from Enter the Dragon, and the villain from Deliverance, who did the immortal lines of, "You got a mighty pretty mouth, boy. Why don't you just drop them pants? Just drop them pants." So I'm having drinks with him, Bob Wall, and Henry, who's a stunt driver. If you've ever seen Car Wash with Richard Pryor, Henry's the Indian that is the central character drifting through it. And he became a stunt man and a stunt driver. So I'm just right there fitting in, just another bad guy with the bad guys, drinking. And my late wife Waka's there just having fun, drinking. Hey, I'm with these guys. And that's my life. Okay? So for me to talk to Frank Miller, the public just doesn't understand that I work with the best. Whatever I do, I go to the top. Always.
Well,
I'm not I'm
What
a
are
top 10% motherfucker. I'm an
right.
honor roll kid. I'm a captain of the swim team kid. I'm a martial artist. I'm a serious hardcore worker. I work like crazy. Like your work ethic, Kevin. I see your work ethic and I like it and I get it and I get what you're doing and you're hitting them with the power of production. I'm producing and that's what I did. No matter what you threw at me, I'm going to defeat you.
But with
I call it
just your
jujitsu.
work ethic,
I'll
absolutely.
just jujitsu you. I'll flip your
Right.
energy around upon you. So
Right.
the Frank Miller interview, Hero Illustrated was tired of the same old shit. And they wanted to break free of being in Wizard's shadow. Okay. And they had a lot of money behind them. I would recommend everybody go online and look up the kidnapping of Frank Kurtz, Kurtz, the kidnapping of Frank Kurtz. I broke into the Hero Illustrated editorial offices and kidnapped Frank out of the office with me and my thugs. We grabbed him and we made him buy us lunch. And we're wearing masks and we were wearing wizard hats. Wizard hats. So we're wearing wizard hats and we broke into the Hero Illustrated offices and kidnapped Frank out on camera. This is all on YouTube. Look it up. Kidnapping of Frank Kurtz. I believe it's on Crime Pays Hart, youtube.com/Crime Pays Hart. I think I got it up on my channel there. So the guys were willing to do, like, they wanted to break out of the usual thing, right? So what better? My interview thing was stunt interview. Okay. So I don't think it's a bad thing to tell somebody, this is my first interview. I've never interviewed anybody else before. I've been the one being interviewed.
Right.
I have been, fuck Frank. At that point in time, are you kidding me? Do you know how much media I fucking did then?
Right.
Fuck Frank Miller. At that point in time, I'm all over the fucking CNN, fucking Larry King, Jerry Springer, all over ABC, CBS. I'm all over the fucking news. So for me to interview Frank Miller in that time as a hard-boiled writer of Bill the Bull, remember Bill the Bull? Hard-boiled guy. When you got a job that needs doing and you don't care who gets hurt doing it, you hire the Bull. Bill the Bull. Chicago. South Side, motherfucker. So I'm writing Bill the Bull. Quentin Tarantino is a fan of Bill the Bull. In fact, behind me is a signed Reservoir Dogs poster signed by Quentin. Yeah, that's right. Fuckers. So my penetration into culture is huge. And at that point in time, when I did the interview, I'm all over the news. And I'm the bad guy of horror. All right.
Right.
And I think I'm not sure if Frank is the first interview. Danzig might have been the first one because Hero Illustrated wanted me to go interview Glenn. So Hero sent me out to interview Danzig, and I had just moved to Los Angeles. It's 1994. I'd only been there for like a month and a half, and I was a Danzig fan. I mean, you kidding me? Mother! Ha ha! Bringer of death! So, Glenn, I'm not sure if Glenn was the first interview or Frank was. So it was a stunt interview, and it became a thing because they knew I'm not a candy ass. I'm not. I won't kiss your ass. All right. I'm an equal. Danzig's a martial arts freak. I'm a martial arts freak. Frank Miller is a hard-boiled freak. I know. Okay. Dr. Ben, you fucking moron. It's Mickey Spillane. Mickey Spillane, motherfucker. Not Spillane. Not Spillane. Mickey Spillane, motherfucker. He was the #1 best-selling author in America for years, dude. For years. That guy sold millions around the world. And this is what's interesting for everybody out there to understand. James Patterson, you will disappear. James Patterson, nobody cares about your books. Your airport books are shit. Your books are shit. They're going to rerun you, but you're going to disappear because you're garbage. Mickey Spillane's stuff is really hard-boiled. So the thing about me hitting Frank about Mickey Spillane is because my father was a freak. My father's two favorite writers were Ian Fleming and Mickey Spillane. Right? He had all the books. he loved them. He talked about these guys. And so for myself, the dichotomy is part of what I am now. I'm a result of my mother and father's influence. And my father's favorite things seem to revolve around, most people don't know the guy that created James Bond was an actual spy. All right. He was friends with Christopher Lee and Peter. God, I'm blowing it. Come on, help me.
Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing, yes. So those guys were all government war program. All right. So they were all real spies. And so my father really loved the idea of the blurring of the line between the fact and the fiction of the author. And so I I'm it. I'm it. I lived my father's dream. I'm happy to say I am the man that my father dreamed of being. That's a lovely thing to be. It's challenging, but I can actually say I am the man my father dreamed of being. That's heavy.
It seemed like that really took Frank off guard when you brought him up, when you brought Mickey Spillane.
I know all the books and I know what he ripped off. Okay, Frank actually lifted shit. It's not an homage. He in the interview, they let him off easy in the print. I'm gonna post the actual 45-minute interview. And Frank reacted like I just punched him in the dick. Because I called him on his shit. I called him on his shit. He was actually a dame to kill for. Get the fuck out of here. The big fat kill.
It's over the top.
No, it's not over the top. It's Mickey Spillane, motherfucker. I know what books he's ripping off. I know what he's ripping the books off. It's not an homage. It's not an homage. It's a fucking ripoff, motherfucker.
In my
books, okay. The other people interviewing him had never read the books.
I believe I pronounced it Mickey Spillane because he was a Jehovah's Witness, and I have a lifelong battle with the.
Fuck you, Ben. Fuck you. Mickey Spillane. Spillane, you jagoff. He was a all the Miller Lite commercials. A fucking American icon, and you can't get his fucking name right.
Well,
we fuck up names all the time. I'm surprised we don't fuck up your name. Fisher, Hart Fisher.
So, guys, me confronting Frank, I'm the only person that could, because all these other interviewers had never read Mickey's work. I grew up with it. He was my dad's favorite writer. Ian Fleming was number 2. Mickey Spillane was number 1, and I love my dad. I love my dad. My dad.
He ended up in comics, right? Didn't Mickey Spillane end up doing some of those technical?
No, he cashed in like the whore that he is.
Well, like everybody did. Leonard Nimoy, Neil Gaiman, they all did. That's why that company went out of business.
$25 million, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
$25 million on garbage. Because Mickey Spillane did the book. I think it was called Mike Danger. I have it. I bought it. I bought those books.
I'm in the middle of collecting all that stuff. I'm fascinated by that stuff. That's because they spent those might be the most expensive comics ever made. And they sold nothing.
Earned in a year.
And they
want you to understand this, Kevin. 25 million.
That's crazy.
Okay, Chicago Con.
That's worse than Rob Liefeld. That's worse than Rob Liefeld.
T-shirts that were taller than me. They had a pile of shirts, and then they had hologram things, and you would play in VR. But none of it was about selling comics or the story, because, ladies and gentlemen at home, it's about the story. So when I grilled Frank, I knew exactly what Frank had lifted from what book. You get me? Because I that's my bread and butter. I love those books. James M. Cain, Dashiell Hammett, Raymond Chandler, all that stuff. Jim Thompson, the killer inside me, motherfucker. All that hard-boiled fiction, like even Sherlock Holmes. But Mickey Spillane was like right in my wheelhouse. So I love Sin City. I love the book. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Frank Miller fan. So that's the double-edged sword, is you find as a creator that your fans can be your worst enemies. They know your shit. They research your shit. Right. They're into your stuff. So for me to confront Frank, what that interview was, and the idea of that, and also Rob Liefeld, I interviewed Todd McFarlane. I interviewed a lot of different people.
Is that printed? Is the Todd McFarlane interview printed somewhere?
Yeah, I think it's in the journal.
Okay.
I
We'll
think
have to
it's in
track
the
that down,
comics
Dr.
journal.
Ben.
So I interviewed Todd. And so the idea of having Hart Fisher interview somebody was, it's a professional talking to a professional. All right. It isn't, you think it's a stunt interview. Oh, the guy who did Kill Image is going to interview Rob Liefeld. Well, the public doesn't know that me and Rob have been talking for years.
Right.
We talk for years like this. Like there's this, okay, kayfabe. That's why I thought cartoonist kayfabe was the appropriate title, because there's a mythology and there's a narrative that is paid for. There's a narrative. The thing I really I owe Ed because I always felt that the independent black and white comics of the 90s got short thrift. I felt that all the guys and they loved their books. I knew all these guys. I did shows with there's so many other publishers that don't get their day. All right. And I've got the books in my long boxes. All right. So there are so many great creators that never got their due. And Ed and Jim started digging that up. And I'm so grateful to Ed and Jim for doing that, because I always felt that the independent black and white comics market of the 90s never got its due. It never got its due. It really didn't. And it was an amazing period. And okay, they talk about Faust now. Okay, great. Oh, they talk about The Crow. Great. They don't talk about Guy Davis's Sherlock Holmes punk rock comic Out of Caliber. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about Cerebus. They don't talk about the real milestones.
We actually recorded a show today where we went real hard on talking about uncanceling Dave Sim and bringing Cerebus.
What do you mean?
Back just in the.
What do you mean? Dave Sim got canceled?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty fucking hardcore.
Why did he
kind of canceled himself? I don't know. He confessed online that he dated a girl that he had been talking to at conventions before she turned 18. It didn't really seem like a big deal. That girl never said anything.
What's the age of consent in Canada?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's 16, motherfucker.
I was going to say, I thought it was 14.
It's 16, motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. She never even, it's not like this girl came out and then he kind of like canceled himself. He came out and was like, I did this shit, so see you later. But we're going to bring, I don't think, regardless, the work of Cerebus deserves to have its due.
Okay, look,
and we just did a show last week about Todd McFarlane.
Have you been to the Sistine Chapel?
No.
I have. I've been to the Sistine Chapel. It's a beautiful piece of art. And guess what? The Pope didn't pay him. No, he had to fucking chase the Pope to get paid for painting the Sistine Chapel. He didn't get paid. He literally had to badger the Pope to get paid. And then number two, if you've never been to the Sistine Chapel, to all you Catholics out there, I'm sorry if you have a problem with homosexuality, but it's the gayest thing I've ever seen. And I worked in pornography and I worked in adult films, and it was my job to package a lot of homosexual pornography. Yeah. So I think that I have a distinct ability to tell you that's homosexual pornography on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Now, I know this is going to bother people. It's going to upset people, but it's just the truth. And it's the same thing for me to go to Frank and go, Frank, you've been ripping off Mickey Spillane. Now, Frank sputters and goes bananas in the interview. It's a homage! It's an homage! Because I called him because I knew the work. I knew the work, okay? So I called him and I was able to cite the paragraph and the book. You get me? The paragraph, motherfucker. So he sputtered and he got upset and he got all bitchy. And it's like, I didn't do that to make him bitchy. Isn't there a point where he says I wanted to know. I wanted to know, motherfucker.
Right. And
I didn't do this to fuck with him. I did not do it to be, oh, I'm going to be edgy. I'm an edgelord. Look at me asking the tough questions. No, motherfucker. I wanted to know. How about
what's
that?
Great about it,
ladies and gentlemen at home, interviewers, I wanted to know. I asked the questions I wanted to know, motherfucker. It wasn't about pushing him or provoking him. And it was the same with the Rob Liefeld interview. I did not do that to push his goddamn buttons. I wanted to know. I wanted to get the truth. I was an interrogator. I was
and you did. I think by throwing him off guard with that question, he ended up opening up about a lot of other influences. And what's great is at the beginning of the interview, you said, well, I'm not going to be the guy that just asks you what your influences are. And yet he started spilling them. He was giving them up left and right after you asked that question, and you started hitting him with the Mickey Spillane stuff, which is great. That's a sign.
Question when you're a creator and stuff is given to you for free. Okay, so when stuff is given to you for free, and I get free stuff. Thank you, Rick Veach. I've got my story.
We got a Rick Veach. We got a Rick Veach
reprinted in True Man, the Max Immortal, in his latest trade paperback. So they've got my story, The Vampire Hunters Club, in black and white, which I'm happy about. Rick felt that the coloring it was from Chaos. It was Nightmare Theater, and it was a dream come true for me. I'm a huge fan of Rick Veach. I'm a huge fan of Tom Yeats. And so to have Rick and Tom do one of my stories was absolutely a dream come true. Oh my God. As a comic book geek growing up reading Abraxas the Earthman and Epic Illustrated, and geeking out on that stuff, and then geeking out on Rick's work on Swamp Thing, to have him do my stuff was like, holy shit. Yeah. So I will thank Brian Polito, the publisher at Chaos, for making that dream come true. I got to say thank you, Brian.
We got videos this week on Rick Veach and Brian Polito coming out. Thanks to Dr. Ben's actually published in that Rick Veach book that we're covering this week. Dr. Ben,
so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't read the new one yet. Printed in black and white because he felt the color oversaturated the line work of Tom's inks, and I agree with that. I feel a lot with the modern comic books. They're relying on computer coloring too much, and they're filling in the gaps. And I feel like a lot of the computer coloring actually hurts the line work of the art.
For sure, yeah.
Especially with an artist like, let's say, Kyle Holtz, who has that beautiful line work, or Liam Sharp. But Frank, for me to talk with Frank, it's what you guys got in that printed interview is two professionals talking. And that was the intent of these interviews. The whole point of Hart Fisher being brought in to interview somebody is A, they knew I'm going to tell the truth. Okay. They knew I'm going to tell the truth. B, I am a fan. I'm an honest fan. That's why Ed and Jim Rugg worked so good. They're honest fans. And
we wouldn't be able to do this if we weren't fans.
Their criticisms of books were based on their own work and based on real places. They weren't just like, I don't like this because this creator likes Trump. Oh, I don't like this creator.
I was just talking to Dr. Ben about that last night. I was just telling him last night, like, who the fuck do these motherfuckers think they are? Like, where do they get off, criticizing your work? We were talking on the phone last night, and it's because 90% of the criticism that comes toward creators these days comes from people that don't know shit from shit. And we're all creators. We're all creators, and we can and we by having conversations like this with each other, and Ed and Jim, especially at Cartoonist Kayfabe, it was their professionalism and their dedication to being cartoonists and to comic books that allowed them to create that
their professional breakdown of the artwork. When they sat there and they broke down a comic book and the way they layered in the history, and they were the best. Those guys did it best, because my work, I've seen a lot of guys do this, and a lot of people, it's kind of funny, it's kind of annoying. It's actually really fucking, for all you assholes that are going to grab one of my fucking comic books and you're going to fucking read it out loud on a fucking camera, I'm talking to you. Quit being a jerk. Quit being a fucking dick. quit reading it this weird, oh, I'm a pseudo badass. I'm going to read this in this pseudo falsetto. And they read my editorials in this weird way. Fucking read it, asshole. I'm a professional. I've been doing spoken word performances since 1993. All right. So I've done spoken word around the world. All right. I've opened up for rock bands. I have, as a poet, I have opened up for rock bands in other countries and other languages. So, to you jagoffs that are reading my editorials, you suck. You're doing a shit job, especially when you try to do it in this pseudo, oh, I'm Snake Plissken. I'm Snake Plissken. Let me tell you, I don't give a fuck, but I'm going to kill you anyway. Your pseudo badass voice is gay in a bad way. Because it's all right if you like to suck cock. If you like to suck cock, more power to you, buddy. Enjoy that day.
Kind of concerned because I don't know.
Way. You're being disingenuous. It's lame. It's lame. And when I say it's gay, it's not a homosexual slur. It's lame. Right?
Dr. Ben's got a couple questions for you. Dr. Ben, break in here, and you had a couple things you wanted to ask Hart about this interview before we got going. Here's your chance.
No, we should. This is what the whole point is, like, to get past the fourth wall and to help you guys understand. It's Veronica number 4, Kevin.
I said 5.
Veronica 4, Kevin.
After I shut the stream off, I was like, it's fucking 4. I own it.
It's Veronica 4, dummy.
I own the fucking thing. Hey, man, it happens.
The 4 that got busted was Planet Comics. And how about this? The people at home don't know. I was on the phone with the cashier when the cops were raiding the store.
Whew. Nice.
Hey, yeah, you heard it here first on Kevin Strain's podcast. Hart Fisher was on the phone with the cashier at Planet Comics when they got raided, and they targeted my book specifically, which was sold behind the counter, by the way. Absolutely. As an adult product, it was sold behind the counter. It was not available to kids.
Yeah,
and a Christian group targeted my work. A Christian group. Oh, turn the other cheek? Yeah, Christian group. I think Jesus would really like what you're doing. So, Christian group did that. Christian group came and seized that, and it was a politically motivated attack by an attorney in Oklahoma who was looking for props. And the way that ended up was, after the asshole had all that success with ruining the lives of Planet Comics owners, causing one guy had to get a divorce over it. They threw a brick through the window. They ruined these guys' lives for political reasons. This guy went to Blockbuster next, this attorney in Oklahoma, for political reasons to get elected, illegally seized the rental, thank you. Let me say this again. Illegally seized the rental records of the customers of Blockbuster to seize the Tin Drum. Now, the Tin Drum is a German film that I saw. Where did I see the Tin Drum? I saw it in my film class at my top 10 state university, the U of I. That's where I saw the Tin Drum. I saw it as part of my class. And this asshole seizes it, and he goes and seizes the rental records illegally, by the way, without a warrant. Totally illegal. And of course, Blockbuster, cowards that they are, bent over and gave those records to them. Cowards. And they went to everybody's home and grabbed every copy of the Tin Drum.
How's that even possible?
Every copy. And they're trying to say it was child porn. Right. The film is about a boy during World War II hurls himself down the stairs so he doesn't grow up, so he does not become an adult, because he does not want to face Nazi Germany. And in the film, there's a scene where he has a relationship with an adult woman. And so they say that this is child, but he's an adult in a child's body. You get what I mean? Right. So they went after this as child porn. And this is a major, critically acclaimed, like super highly awarded film. And it's a good film. It's a really good film. I recommend everybody at home watch the Tin Drum.
Yeah,
it's not child porn. It's not at all. But this asshole went, and the last person on the list was an ACLU lawyer.
Yeah,
The
right.
last guy, he showed up legally at this guy's house to seize his VHS copy of the Tin Drum from Blockbuster, and it's an ACLU lawyer. That's the end of that story. Because
it
they
ended
shut
right
that
there.
cocksucker down.
It ended right there. Yes,
That's
Veronica
the
number
guy
4.
that went after A Taste of Cherry that I
A Taste of Cherry, yes, which is tell the audience that is maybe not be as familiar with Veronica number 4 and A Taste of Cherry. You were editing Glenn Danzig's Veronica press at the time.
When I first moved to Los Angeles, I gotta give props to Glenn, because I had an economic setback. One of my books that was supposed to come out and like fucking pay my rent, because I make my living from this stuff. As you guys know, you make your living from what you're doing. So all of a sudden this book didn't come out, so I didn't have my rent money. And I was in trouble. I was in real trouble. I was behind on my rent, and Glenn saved my ass. He hired me. He hired me to run his comic book company, Veronica. And so in running, being the managing editor of Veronica, Glenn's like, he wanted me to write a story for Veronica, his horror anthology. He had this erotic horror anthology called Veronica. And a lot of the stories he was getting were from an anthology called Hot Blood, which was a very successful. Oh, it's my phone. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me answer the phone.
Sure. Be happy now.
Hi, Trike. I'm being interviewed right now. How are you?
Yeah, you too.
Yes, I'm talking to Kevin Strain and Dr. Ben's Comics here, clarifying their interpretation of my Frank Miller interview. In fact, while I'm on the phone with you, I think I need more apple cider. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I will finish this phone call really quick. Sure. I'm going to get it refilled, and I'll be right back.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to mute your camera till you come back.
King Cobra just let me bring up some of the chats going over there too. If you want to start with some of those, say hi to some of our viewers. I'll let you pronounce that first name there, sir.
Jorge.
Yeah,
Jorge?
Maybe.
Frank Miller, booze, drugs, and 9/11.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave's Alex Raymond book is lovely and weird. Critical Blast comes in and says, nice use of the word package.
RJ is Critical Blast.
Yeah. King Cobra JFS sent me. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe like
welcome. Badge Poop. Welcome, Badge Poop. You gotta Dr. Ben, you gotta break in.
I think that's pretty out.
Break in, or you're not going to get a word in edgewise. We're interviewing Hart D. Fisher, the most dangerous man in comics, ladies and gentlemen. We did Dr. Ben and I did an episode of our show all about Frank Miller's Hart Fisher's interview with Frank Miller in Hero Illustrated from, was it 1994?
Yeah, 94, issue 18. Well, here he is. All right. Okay. Put him back in the hot seat.
Or cider.
Quick call there. Let's let Dr. Ben, before Hart gets going again, throw some questions at him. Rapid fire. Let's go about the interview.
He's already
interview. Let's do it.
So I'm going to say, was my reading of your of the interview? Would you consider that? And that's fine.
Pussy reading.
Yeah. Would you consider my reading? I didn't think I was doing like a Johnny Badass voice, but if I was, is it too low?
Salon, faggot. Salon, faggot. Mickey Spillane. That was millions of copies, millions around the world, translated in multiple languages. Frank Miller's favorite writer.
I don't think
I have
anybody.
A person.
Literally nobody.
He's there. He's doing yoga, and he's going to do some stretching. He's going to use some yoga.
Nobody can do a Hart Fisher the way Hart Fisher does Hart Fisher. But I think I do a goddamn good Hart Fisher.
No, you guys don't. No, nobody.
Ricky Spillane, asshole.
Okay,
all right.
Listen, Dr. Ben, you faggot.
We used to laugh. We used to laugh about the idea of like, okay, Hart, how are they going to spoof you on Saturday Night Live? How will you be spoofed? And so our vibe was they're gonna spoof your laugh. They're gonna love my because I got a crazy laugh. I'm kind of, I already know I'm crazy. I'm okay with that. So everybody seems to think that that's what they're going to impersonate, and they'll have a bad wig.
Right.
Okay. My wedding, when I got married in 2003, I had a Halloween wedding with my late wife, Wakako Kawagoshi, and it was a costume wedding. And my brother Adam came dressed as me. Now, Adam has alopecia. So alopecia is where your immune system attacks your hair follicles. He has no hair. So my little brother has no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no hair. He has no hair. He's an inch shorter than me, but he's my bro. He's my brother. He looks just fucking like me. If you shaved my fucking head and shaved off all this hair, I look just like him. You know what I mean? He's my brother. So he came to the wedding dressed as me. And he had my coat and he had a wig. It was fucking funny.
That's awesome.
If
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was several years ago, Hart. Was it that you attended Stanton LaVey's wedding, or he attended yours? I don't remember which one.
No. Anton LaVey. Okay,
Stanton.
so I've got a long history with the Satanic Church. I'm not a Satanist. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not. I don't buy into that bag. I'm not there because that guy's a loser. Sorry. Here's my thing about Satan, all right? It's better to roll in the basement than serve you upstairs, Dad. So I'm going to be in the basement, and I'm in charge of the basement because I can't bow down to you, Dad, upstairs. But down here in the basement, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. Oh, I'm the great Satan in the basement. So that's my feeling about Satan.
That's how we get.
But you had told me a story. You told me a story. Was it that you attended Stanton, the grandson, not Anton LaVey, but Stanton?
No, Stanton LaVey. I interviewed Stanton on American Horrors at the Meltdown Comics, and then for my 10-year wedding anniversary, I had dinner with a bunch of different friends in San Francisco. We went up to see Danzig play in San Francisco. It was my 10-year wedding anniversary, and it was Halloween because I got married on Halloween. And so I went up there and I had dinner with Stanton LaVey's ex-wife. Okay. And she's a hardcore witch, and she's totally serious about her stuff. And so we had dinner and drinks, and it was a nice night. We had friends. It was a lovely wedding anniversary. And I also want to say, hey, thank you, Danzig. Thank you, Glenn. Glenn was a fantastic host for the wedding anniversary. We had to wait a little bit because, he was busy. We're at the Warfield in San Francisco. And at a certain point, like, we had to go fuck off because he had to have a meeting with the head of the Oakland Hells Angels, which is the founding chapter of the Hells Angels gang. So Glenn had to have a little sit down and talk with the guys because when I went, it's kind of funny.
Was it Sonny Barger, or had he already been replaced by then? Huh? Was it Sonny Barger, or had he?
No, Sonny Barger's been gone for a long time. That's old Hells Angels business. Sonny Barger was the leader of the Hells Angels a long time ago. He did his time. He did his prison time. But so Glenn, he when you walk on the dark side, you got a lot of dark friends. All right. So Glenn has a lot of different relationships. Like I knew Simon Bisley. Okay, Simon had a lot of relationships with different people, and a lot of different motorcycle clubs wanted Simon to do artwork for them. But if he did artwork for one club, it could cause trouble with him with another club. Right. You get it? So I don't have an affiliation with anybody. You know what I mean? And Glenn's in that position where as a public figure and as a musician, he doesn't have an affiliation, but he knows a lot of people, right? And so when you know these people, you give them respect. And you give them respect of, okay, they want to have some of your time. Well, you're going to give them some of your time. All right. So when I showed up at the Warfield in San Francisco, I'm dressed as Thor. I'm Thor. The fucking hammer and the costume and everything. And it was a costume thing, and I showed up, and I'm there with my late wife Waka. Waka's a little Japanese woman, so I'm trying to, you're the dude, and you're looking for the space that your short girlfriend can be safe at the rock club, at the rock show. She's not going to get creamed, because a lot of times, if you're a big dude and you got a little tiny girlfriend that likes metal, you're going to spend a lot of your time being bouncer, because she wants to get up by the mosh pit, and you're going to be the one standing there shoving all the guys away. And don't fucking kill your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Am I
Absolutely.
saying?
Yeah. No. I was at a listen to this. I was at a gathering of the Juggalos one time with the girl that I was seeing, and she and I'm just into the fucking show. I'm getting hit in the head with 2 liters of soda, and she taps me on the
soda.
They throw Fago, and she taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and she's like, "Help!" And because I shouldn't have, that was my bad. I should have never let her end up behind me in the first place. Number 1 rule is they're right here. You keep them right here in front of you,
where my arms are, so I could be like.
So somehow I got my shoulder
kind of like the baby guards, like you got the baby hanger. It's the same thing.
So somehow I ended up in front of her a little bit, and she taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Help!" And I spin around and push her in front of me, and this dude's pants are around his ankles, and he's jacking his fucking dick off. He was trying to pull her pants down and fuck her.
Dude, that's a
in
punch.
the pit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I literally
as I
start moving forward, he's gone.
Hammer time, bro.
He's pushing his way out of the pit and starting to pull his pants up. He's like, "Oh, you're a lucky dude, bro." And I'm like, "No, you're a lucky dude, bro. That you're fucking leaving." Holy shit, that was fucking crazy. But yeah, that's just one of a million stories of trying to take a girl into the pit. Anything can happen to them. You gotta protect the kids.
Waka was a huge fan of the band Death Angel, and she knew the band. So when they got back together, they did a tour, and they were at the Key Club in Los Angeles, and we're there, and I'm doing the thing where you got the girl right in front of you and you're keeping the mosh pit away from your girl. You're doing the bouncer thing. And then at the end of the show, the drummer's tossing out his drumsticks. He looks me dead in the eye, and this motherfucker ninja threw this fucking thing at me, his drumstick. And I knew. I looked him in the eye, I looked him in the eye, like dead in the eye, knew. You're going to throw your drumstick right at me to kill me. And he did. And he had great aim. He had amazing aim. I watched this drumstick fly across we're at the Key Club in Los Angeles, and I watch it go across, and it's going in slow motion. I'm watching in slow motion, and no joke, he gave me an opportunity to be a superhero because I caught it.
Caught
it. Woo. Literally, when the drumstick barely touched my head, I caught it in my hand, and then I gave it to her.
There you go. That's how
and she watched me do this, because I watched that motherfucking thing sail at me in slow motion. I had a friend of mine, the director John Borowski, who directed the Albert Fish documentary. He's got a huge Gacy thing coming out. John had me in his film Serial Killer Culture, and John and I were hanging out and talking. And he's like, the thing about the Matrix with the bullet motion, how things slow down in an emergency, he thought that was fake. He thought it was totally fake. And I'm like, no, dude, no, that's real. Like, that happens to me. And that drumstick is my example of, I watched it in slow motion. I watched that drumstick fly across, and it was this hand, my left hand. I grabbed it with my left hand, not even my right hand, because I'm right-handed. Thank you, Taekwondo and martial arts.
Let's circle it back around. There was a moment in that interview that, and we kind of touched on it at the very end, and I don't think we gave it the time. I don't think we discussed it as much as it needed to be discussed, or as much as it deserved to be discussed. And that's you got Frank talking about censorship and the First Amendment. You got him talking about Batman not being a vigilante, but being a terrorist. You got him talking about Batman not being right wing, but being, just like an anarchist type of character.
He's not right wing. He's a psychopath.
Right. And I thought that was a great moment in the interview. You really opened Frank up to talk about Batman and about censorship in a way that I don't think he would be comfortable talking about today. That was a different time.
No, I think Frank would come out, and he was very vocal. This is a part of the industry that you guys don't know about. Like, this industry, like if this is the first time you've heard Frank say this, because when they started talking about having a mature readers label, Frank was absolutely against it. And it was around the same time that they had the parental music advisory group. And so they had the PMRC, and they were doing the same thing with comic books. And Frank was really vocal, like publicly hardcore. This is not a private thing. Frank was out there on the front lines fighting for free speech. Okay. Actively. And so his notion was, when you put that mature readers label on your book, he felt that you're targeting the book. My feeling about it was, you're just helping the store owner know who to sell to. That was my feeling. Like as a bouncer who carded people and then later on doing pornography is not suited for children. Okay.
Exactly.
Not all of it.
The comics I do aren't for children. They're for adults. And so I made a point, like, I'm not going to sell this to a kid. I'm not giving this to a kid.
Yeah, I put adult only on my stuff too.
And they give it to a kid. I don't have any control over that.
Yeah, once it's out of your hands, you don't have control over it. I put adult labels on my stuff.
Every child is different, and I was a very mature kid. And so for myself, my mother was challenged with my adult taste in what I was reading. Okay. My mother had a real problem with, I was so far advanced in what I was reading. And so my mother was really upset with a lot of the comics I was reading. And she banned Epic Illustrated from the house. I was not allowed to have that in the house because she felt there was a vodka ad on the back cover, and she felt that these books were for adults, so therefore I shouldn't read it. Instead of going, well, maybe my child is more mature and maybe my child can handle this, she saw liquor ads, and so I had to put them at my dad's house. My parents were divorced, so my dad had them. And my father was much more mature about that kind of thing. My mother was way more like this liberal mindset of like, well, if I just hide it, it'll go away. Right. Like my mom got it into her head that the comics I was reading were too violent. And she felt that, and we're talking about the 70s, all right? This is the 70s. And my mother felt that I couldn't watch Speed Racer because Speed Racer was too violent. And she didn't want me to watch the Spider-Man cartoon. Where is the fly? There's the fly. Spider-Man. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? The Spider-Man cartoon was too fucking violent. What the fuck, Mom? But let me give you the punchline. The punchline was, Mom at one point made my father go through my comic collection, and I had to have enough good comics versus bad comics. Superhero comics, where the superhero fights for justice and truth with his fists, were bad. But the cowboy comics, where they shot Indians and murdered people, were good. And the war comics, where Sergeant Rock and Easy Company murdered people with machine guns and grenades, oh, that was all fine. Oh, so Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos, war comics were all fine. You guys, how do you guys think of what do you guys think of that?
Well, again, I put adult labels on all my comic books, and I tell, like, I don't put my comics in comic book shops because I think comic book shops skew to a younger audience. I put my comic books in head shops.
The notion that war comics are good. Like, have you noticed on advertising on Facebook, if you advertise Call of Duty, you're fine. You could blow up brown people all over the world. You could cap motherfuckers with a gun and have gun violence everywhere. You could advertise that everywhere. But I can't advertise Cockhammer.
Yeah, well, that's America. That's how we've always been here.
No,
it's violence. I know.
Kevin, it's gotten worse, man. I've been fighting this fight for 30 fucking years.
Hey, you're talking to the guy. I just had a Robert Crumb video taken down today by YouTube because there's tits in it. And I appealed and said, how is Robert Crumb not a because it said sometimes we make exceptions for nudity and sexual gratification if there are educational or artistic.
If YouTube's making enough money off of it.
And so I appealed, and it's like Fantagraphics Books, one of the premier indie, publishers, publishes it. You can buy it on Amazon. Why can't I review it and discuss it in an educational manner on YouTube?
I almost got into a fist fight with John Romita Jr. over his bullying of a Fantagraphics employee.
Which
Tell me more.
At the San Diego Comic-Con, a Fantagraphics employee had a Marvel Can Suck My Cock shirt on. Yeah. And John Romita Jr. got violent with him over the Marvel Can Suck My Cock shirt at San Diego at the show, and he got violent with him. And he was a skinny little fella that he bullied. So I heard this. So I went right to the fucking Marvel booth wearing my Marvel Can Suck My Cock shirt. And I went looking for that cocksucker. And he fucking hid from me. He hid from me, you fucking pussy.
I was going to say, did he show his face?
He could bully some skinny little guy from Fantagraphics, but he ran and hid when I showed up. Because I don't like people bullying my fans. I don't like that at all. It bothers me.
Sure.
I don't like bullying. I don't
I don't think there should be bullying in comic books in general. Like it's art. Man. We should.
If I don't like your shirt, I don't like your shirt. I'm fine.
Exactly. Who cares?
I don't like your comic book. This thing with, I'm going to get back to this. Like, okay, why are you guys so shocked that I called Frank on the Mickey Spillane stuff? Why are you shocked by that?
I'm not shocked. I'm certainly not shocked that you did
I listened to your episode, guys. I sat there in the bathtub with the phone only playing you, Jagoffs. I was not distracted. I wasn't reading a book. I was in the bathtub. Bubble bath. Thank you, bubble bath. I'm a big queer. Big gay girl. That's me. Bubble bath. Big lemony apple. I was green apple bubble bath, and a little bit of peppermint oil for my beautiful hair. And so I'm in the bathtub listening to your thing, and I'm like, why the fuck do you guys, why is it so shocking for me to be like, your pasta didn't taste so good? Why is it so shocking to say, hey, you're ripping off this other creator? Why is that shocking?
I think it was honestly because it was your you started off explaining it was your first interview, and it to me, I know it was definitely kind of
my first interview with me doing the interviewing.
Right. But I don't think it clarified it too much in there. Like you weren't like, I've been interviewed a bunch, but this is the first, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get you. I hear you.
So that's what I'm saying to me. And I mean, to be the first time you're interviewing someone, because I mean, being interviewed is like, it's a whole different thing than interviewing someone else.
You're the interviewer.
Right.
It's different when you're the subject. And then when you're the person doing the questions,
right.
It's a very different process. And this was I do think having me interview people is stunt casting for sure. It's a stunt interview. It's a shock value interview. That's them. That's not me doing it. That's the other publishers. That's Comics Journal. That's Hero Illustrated. That's Fan Magazine. That's their shock value. All right. That's not my decision.
Because it takes a certain amount of stuff to be able to like just to have that simplicity of like, calling out like, hey, like I recognize all your stories and plots and beats and everything from Mickey Spillane or Spillane.
Thank you. Spillane. Say it again, Dr. Ben. Mickey Spillane. Spillane. Say it. Spillane.
It's a personal disrespect to Brother Spillane.
Thank you.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, just to have something like that, to me, that doesn't seem like a hard question to be like, hey, like, I recognize all this.
It's just two creators talking.
Fantastic. It's gone. All right. And we can get down to the real shit here. Okay, so
the whole point was it's just two comics professionals having a conversation. That was the goal of all of Hart Fisher's stunt interviews, was the idea of I'm a professional and I'm just commiserating with my fellow pros, but people didn't think of me as a pro. Like they thought of me as like this independent outlaw comic guy or underground guy, and I wasn't employed by Marvel or DC. So for me to come in, it was definitely a stunt. It was like, let's bring in the metal guy.
Well, if they had asked you, or if Kevin had asked you, right? Hey, I'm going to have you on for an interview. I'd like to get your input. but I don't want you to say you can't go against me on anything. You can't really say anything controversial. You can't say this or that. Would you have been like, okay, I'll do
No,
it?
I cancel those shows. I won't.
Okay.
If you don't want Hart,
I mean, I already know that was the
show,
answer.
then you're not going to get Hart Fisher on your show. And a lot of my friends have said, like, I've overheard these conversations, and they're like, no, man, that's the guy you're talking to, the guy that's in the interview. Like, I will admit that I'm a little bit more amplified in an interview.
Right,
You guys are getting me kind of low key because it's early in my day. It's really early in my day. I got up early to do this. I was working till 6 a.m. last night on the film fest.
Right.
So they're all amazed at the fact that this isn't a facade. I'm Hart. I'm just Hart.
To answer,
This is me, and I'm not trying to present something.
right.
I'm just enjoying what I do, and I'm a fan. And like, okay, me harassing Danzig, like Glenn. Okay, Glenn, God damn it, sign it to me. Glenn always just puts his name on something. And I'm like, motherfucker, I've known you fucking 30 years. Fucking sign it to me, motherfucker. You know, and I'm curious. And like, so when I meet Phil Anselmo from Pantera, and I'm there, and I'm at the South by Southwest Film Fest 2011, and we're both guests of the festival, and his wife comes up to me, his girlfriend's like, don't let Phil trick you. Phil's going to tell you he's the biggest Poems for the Dead fan, but I'm a bigger fan of your poetry than Phil is because I've got both your books, and Phil's only got one. He's only got one book. I've got both. So don't let him trick you. I'm the bigger fan of your poetry, not Phil.
Philip Anselmo is a
That's a real experience I had.
Poetry. You heard it here first. Oh my!
Yeah, dude, this happened. This is a real thing that happened at South by Southwest. I'm not making this up.
I know. No, you're straight. I know.
It's my life.
What if Eric July said, "Hey, Hart Fisher, I'd like to have you come in, write some comics for Ripperverse. The only thing is, you cannot. A lot of people detract, make fun of our books, say they're badly written. You can't say anything like that."
Is writing for you guys, right? Isn't Chuck Dixon writing for Ripperverse?
Yeah, Chuck Dixon, Mike Barron, Bart Sears is over there now. All kinds of people.
Okay, behind the scenes, guys. I've been helping support Mike Barron's. When Mike Barron got censored on Kickstarter, and when Mike Barron got censored on Indiegogo, I'm here to tell you guys, to the public, I donated airtime on American Horrors. All right. So to fight the censorship, I gave him free commercial airtime on the network that was worth thousands of dollars. So I don't even know if I've ever told Mike that, the value of what I gave him, because I'm a fan. I love what he does. I love his work. I think he's a great writer. And me and Mike have been talking behind the scenes about maybe doing a Kill the Bull Badger crossover. So I'm a huge fan of Mike Barron, and I'm a huge fan of Chuck Dixon. I think they're great writers. And I've been privately talking with these guys for a bit, and I'm a merc. I'm a merc.
Right.
You want me to write a story? Pay me.
Well, so that's what I'm saying.
You want me to write a kid's story? Pay me. You want me to write a Christian book? Pay me. You want me to write a Jewish book? Pay me. I'm a professional. Pay me. You want a job done? I'll do it.
We don't want you to write a Jewish book.
I'll do it. I'm just like Bill the Bull. You want a job done and you don't care who gets hurt doing it? I'll fucking do it. Fucking hire me.
I leave for 1 second
about having a blowback on your political stance. Hire me. I'll do it. I can handle it.
Well, so that's what I'm saying though. If they say, you know, like you're part of the contract is you can't, you know, if we say right, you can't disparage
the other creators to the other books.
You mean for the Ripperverse?
Right.
What is the Ripperverse? Okay. What the fuck is that? What is it? What are you guys talking about?
Hey, you open those doors, Dr. Ben. You open those doors, Dr. Ben. You close them.
What are you talking? I mean, I'm talking about me talking with Frank Miller and Rob Liefeld, and again, I'll give it to Rob he really took the Kill Image thing well. Out of all the guys I murdered in Kill Image, he handled it the best. He was really the best. And, you know, I mean, what the the cartoonist kayfabe was actually pretty accurate, because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't know about. And it's a small world. It's a very small world. And we all know each other. And, I mean, fuck, Jim Lee. I bought Death Blow. I thought Death Blow was great. I love that book. I thought it was fantastic. Now, was that his attempt to be Frank Miller? Yeah, it was. But it was awesome. I thought it was fantastic. So for me to be a critic of these books, or for me to be a curmudgeon, I read the books. Like when I did Rush Limbaugh Must Die, I made a point to read his books. I went out and I read Rush Limbaugh's books. And when I did Rush Limbaugh or Howard Stern versus Rush Limbaugh, I made sure to read Howard's books. So I included stuff in the satires right from their books, instead of just being some jagoff who just rips off of their perceived persona in the media. And that's what's happened to me, is a lot of bullshit thrown out, like caricatures that are completely inaccurate, especially during the 90s. It got really bad. Even with, I wrote for the Comics Journal, but they never gave me a fair shake. They never gave Boneyard Press a fair shake.
What?
So for me, doing interviews like with Frank, that was an attempt for myself to get my own work out there also. It wasn't just about like, I wanted to talk to Frank, and I wanted to know some stuff.
Right.
Because I was so into his work. I mean, I was a huge fan. Frank's art style, when he went from what he was doing with Klaus Janson in Daredevil to what he did with Ronin, and then what he did after that, he's the one that turned me on to Japanese manga. And he turned me on to Lone Wolf and Cub. And the Japanese art style and Lone Wolf and Cub completely changed me as an artist. It changed my art style. It changed all of my illustrations, how I looked at things. And also Tim Vigil, I got to give him props too, because I was doing a lot of my ink work with Rapidograph pens and a lot of like pens. And Tim Vigil threw down the gauntlet. He said, "You're nothing till you master the brush."
I agree. I think the brush is the superior.
I agree with him. And I'll take it a step further. The brush is like a woman.
Oh yeah.
The brush is like a woman. It's supple.
You will always disappoint her.
Get different things from different pressure. The brush, the elegance of the strokes you can get with the ink, with the brush. Yeah. Much more like
we did
more stiff and straight like a guy.
Yeah. We did a Charles Burns episode today. We recorded a Charles Burns episode, and he's a brush guy. And I can't get over the perfection of Charles Burns' brush work. He is just, I think he's the best for my money. He's the best brush guy in indie.
Thomas Eads knocks his dick in the dirt. Knocks his dick in the dirt. And I could name more guys, but I won't. That name clicks to my head right away because of the story that just came out with Rick Veitch. Because part of the reason that Rick reprinted the story that I did, the Vampire Hunters Club, which is about little kids that become vampires to get back at the abusive father. Yeah, that's right. They become vampires to get the abusive, mean, drunk dad. That's where I'm coming from.
Where was it originally published at?
Nightmare Theater. Nightmare Theater through Chaos Comics. I really enjoyed writing through Chaos. Chaos was a lot of fun to work with. And I got to work with an editor that is no longer with us, Philip Nutman. And Philip, I'm reading his book right now. In fact, I dug it up. I've been in my studio. I've been behind on mail order. Okay. So everybody at home who's been waiting for mail order, I've been at the studio for 3 hours the other week, digging through all the boxes to get your shit. Okay, guys? So
are you still doing the mystery?
Shit's gonna ship. I had to find it. I had to like go and dig and move boxes and dig and fucking find this shit and get covered in dust. When I got home and I washed my hands and my arms, all the water came off of me black. because I was so covered in dust because I was going through all the Boneyard library to find these rare books for these orders I had. And I thought I had the books. I thought they were right there, but I didn't. So I've been digging. I love my fans. I love the mail order. You guys, I know some of you guys have been waiting for your stuff. I'm sorry. I've been trying really hard to make sure you get the best copy, to get the best fucking book. I don't want to chip you a banged up, fucking dented book. I mean, if you get the Boneyard mystery box, you're going to get some of those books, because
that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask if you were still doing the mystery box. I bought a mystery box from you last year, and you sent me all kinds of cool shit. We covered a little bit of it on that Heroes Illustrated Frank Miller interview episode. We're going to do a lot more next month. We're doing a banned books month, and we're going to cover a lot of Boneyard Press stuff. But that's great value. Guys, there's a link in the comments.
Flowers and the Razor Wire. I can't remember what issue it was, but Diamond Distribution banned Michael Diana because of Shane Bugbee. Fuck you, Shane. Fuck you. I'm still looking for you, you fucking prick.
Have I ever showed you that,
Hart? Me in Chicago. He knows. I know his brothers. He knows I'm looking for him.
Busby, Shane Busby, huh?
So Shane was publishing Michael Diana, and Shane actually hurt Mike. He hurt Mike. He hurt his legal case because Shane was a dumbass. He was a fucking dumb, satanic idiot exploitation guy that was just using Mike, and he just used Mike.
Have I ever shown you this?
Boiled Angel Lives.
Dude,
Mike
I've got the whole.
On my
you
couch.
can buy this.
Kevin, Mike has been on my couch.
Yeah, I know, and he's done a lot of work for you. You can go in the link in the description. By the way, the first link is to Hart Fisher's website, AmericanHorrors.net. There you can buy your own mystery box, or you can buy this whole back catalog of Boneyard Press stuff. That's fantastic.
Well,
I just wanted to show off a little bit of that Mike Diana stuff that I have. I've got the whole. I bought the whole Boiled Angel collection there from Mike. So, and he signs it, numbers it, limited edition.
The number one distributor of comic books was Diamond Distribution. They banned Michael Diana because of Shane. Because Shane was a prick and Shane was an asshole to the distributors. So he was a belligerent dick. So he got Mike banned from Diamond. And when Diamond banned him, I said, fuck it. I put him in Flowers and the Razor Wire and didn't tell anybody. So I went under the ban. Okay. That's awesome. That's what I would say to everybody at home, every creator, every artist. Ladies and gentlemen, you can always subvert their rules, okay? Yeah. I'm here to tell you, you can always get around them. They're going to try to shut you down. They're going to try to silence you, all right? They're going to, and now we got this cancel culture. Fuck that. Cancel culture is a badge you should wear on your shoulder with pride.
Yeah, okay? we're starting the uncancel culture here at the channel. Strangeville is going to be the uncancel culture.
You made a mark. You made a dent.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And you can get by them. You can get past them. You can get past all of them.
That's the tragedy of Ed Piskor, isn't it? Isn't that the tragedy? Isn't that the tragedy of Ed Piskor? We even the night he died, we talked like, dude, you could have got past this. And if you think about it, it's been 6 months.
Ed could have gotten past it.
It's like a fucking drop in the bucket compared to all the shit.
Ed should have never done what he did.
Fuck no.
I wanted to reach out to him.
I did reach out to him. I texted him. He was already dead. I hunted that motherfucker's phone number down and I texted him, and he was already dead when my text went through.
That's true.
I remember Hart. I gave you his number too. I tracked his number down and I sent you a DM with his number in it. You said, I said I got his number.
He was dead.
You said give it to me, and he was already dead.
That's when we found out he was dead. I wanted to go to they did a comic convention for him.
Yeah.
But should I say this?
Yeah.
I'll say it. Okay, definitely. I'll say it.
You can say anything.
Why wasn't Hart Fisher at the con? Because they told me I had to run all my books by the convention owners and get approval before I could go.
Who is the convention owners? Is that his family, his brother and sister?
His family, I was in touch with, and they told me that the owner of the convention hall needed to approve what I was going to sell at the show.
Cool, Vic.
I really wanted to go. I really wanted to support Ed, but That's not the Boneyard way. I
No,
never allow somebody else to approve what I'm going to sell. I'm a responsible retailer, and the work that I was going to sell was the work that he covered on the show, and it was going to be affordable to the fans. But I was told I had to get approval from the convention owners. I have this in writing. If anybody wants to challenge me and call me a fucking liar, I have the email. So that's the only reason I was not there, was because that flies in the face of everything Ed said about Outlaw Comics.
Right.
To me,
Absolutely.
that flies in the face of everything that Ed stood for and Ed was doing about Outlaw Comics. To have, and I hate to say this, because my heart goes out to the family, but family, this is what the guy was about. Red Room.
They don't know, Art. They don't know. They're brand new to this shit, and they're being pulled in a bunch of different directions. And unfortunately, I have been critical of Ed's family on social media
No,
a little bit. I didn't push hard.
Ed's family. I'm not. No. I'm just saying I wasn't at the convention because I was told my work had to be approved by a third party.
Right.
Hart Fisher and Boneyard Press, as I talk about myself in the third person like an asshole, I don't do that.
No, I think they're getting. I think they're getting bad advice from guys in the industry that are that are way more concerned about their own reputation among the cancel culture. They're way more concerned about their reputation than about Ed's legacy. And I think that, and the family doesn't know any better. Bobby and Justine, they don't know better. They're not part of this community. They don't know comics people. And I think
they're hurt. They lost their brother.
But they're getting advice from guys like
their brother. They love their brother, and they lost this really important person.
And they're doing their best to try to keep his legacy alive.
They're in shock. They're in shock, man. My heart.
They've got
ladies
Don
and gentlemen,
Simpson. They've got Don Simpson.
Family, my heart goes out to you guys. I really, man.
Yeah.
But they've got Don Simpson in their ear, guys like Don Simpson trying to steer them through this brand new culture that they are not familiar with, and I'm not there for it.
How is Don Simpson involved? Megaton man, Don Simpson.
He's a fucking psycho anti-Trumper.
His porno name was Baron von Dreck or something like that when he did Porno Frankenstein comic books.
Anton, right?
He's a super Trump derangement syndrome guy, and he's a super cancel
culture
guy.
Trump derangement syndrome.
That's all he talks about. That's all he talks about on social media is anti-Trump shit. And he's and he's the guy in their ear, and he's super cancel culture. And he's the guy in their ear, kind of guiding them. Not just.
Isn't it funny how the Democrats have become the biggest censors?
It is. It's crazy.
Well,
and again.
Well, I'm not going to name names, but there has been different like anthologies and projects that were slated to begin that because different people have been like not even like defending Piskor, but like have been like on his side and have just suggested that maybe people shouldn't have like rushed to judge him or anything. Just for that, like the mildest of takes, people have like withdrawn from projects. Projects have been canceled. Like I said, I'm not trying to spill the beans and out people or dox them or whatever with my own private conversations with folks, but people don't understand that there is a whole side of comics professionals that are literally celebrating because Ed left, because he died, because he took his own life. That's been the fucking feather in their hat.
For real?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Are you telling me that there are people?
Alex DeCampi was like literally
he named in his suicide note. It's
that
the
are
people
celebrating.
Yes,
that
100%.
Ed killed himself.
The people he named in his suicide note. When you said at the beginning of this interview that he was kamikazing these people that were dancing on his grave before he was even dead. And fuck those motherfuckers. And now you're stuck with me. And I don't know 10% of the history of comics that Ed Piskor did.
the more that Kevin Strange digs up on what's his face, Evan Dorkin and Alex DeCampi,
I'm going to come back.
They're going to hate him.
Ramon Villalobos, Alex DeCampi
is dancing on Ed's grave.
Alex DeCampi, Ramon Villalobos, Evan Dorkin. Who else did he name in his?
Evan Dorkin?
Yes, the milk and cheese motherfucker.
No, I'm a big fan of his work.
Yeah, me too. He's an awesome cartoonist and he's a piece of shit of a person, kind of like Eric Larson. I love Savage Dragon and I love Eric's work ethic, and he's a fucking piece of shit.
See what I'm saying is, like, none of the people talk about any of this. Like, that's why I've been like inviting people. None of them are going to listen to me because they already have me pre-blocked, like
pre-blocked. We pre-blocked Dr. Ben.
Right, pre-cum for Dr. Ben. But like
pre-cum for Dr. Ben.
That's what they do. What can I say? They love me. But
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just sitting here like.
It's insane.
I'm just sickened. I'm just absolutely sickened that somebody would be.
They don't talk about any of this.
Celebrating this guy's all brothers and family and parents are all
nieces and nephews.
These cocksuckers are celebrating this pain
over the pettiness of him being more popular on fucking YouTube than they were, dude, and nothing more. There were nothing to those allegations, Hart. Nothing new ever came out. It's been 6 months. There's been nothing new. There were no other skeletons in his fucking closet. It was the mildest of fucking cancellations. Should he have killed himself? Absolutely not. But the people that pushed him to it are absolutely celebrating that he did it. But this isn't, I'll let you respond to that before we move on. But I don't want to get stuck on this. But I'll let you process that and respond before we move on.
No, I just want to keep those names in my back pocket.
I'll get you a screenshot of the Alex DeCampi stuff because it was right after it happened. And then there's the other lady.
Men will do blank. Men will literally do blank.
Oh, yeah, let me explain that one.
Yeah, go ahead. Explain it.
Heather Antos, the editor for IDW, right? Ed kills himself April 1st. She's going. I did not go up to Cleveland. I'm a suburbs of Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? She was going to Cleveland Fan Expo that next weekend, April 8th or 9th or whatever that would have been. 3 days later, April 4th or 5th, she comes out and she's got a new sticker. I'm coming up with a new sticker for Cleveland Fan Expo. And she holds it up. The men will do blank before they go to therapy. What will you fill it in? There's absolutely no way.
My shrink is a woman. I got PTSD. I got savage PTSD.
I'm with you.
I have bad attacks. And I've had a very violent life. And so my doctor is a woman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are talking about people that are all about dividing, all right? They're all about separating. They're all about
that's what it is.
How does it sell comics? They're all about trying to get attention for
They don't want to sell comics anymore, Hart. They don't care about selling comics anymore. They get contracts with the big two or IDW.
What contracts? IDW is dead.
Well,
guys, IDW is dead.
They're dead now. They're dead because of these practices.
And they're going to pay nobody nothing. And you and I both have lived that life, and I've done that. Like, there's times where I couldn't pay people on books. The books didn't make the money. And as an independent business person, if the book didn't sell, the book didn't sell. So a lot of creator-owned projects, I'd have people get mad at me. It's like, guys, we did a full-page ad in Diamond with your art and everything. It just didn't sell. And they go, it's your fault, Hart. It's like, guys, we did a full-page ad with your art and your story, and we wrote everything the way you wanted. It didn't sell. Well, it's your fault, Hart. No, it didn't sell, guys. These things happen. Like, how many people out there know that Flowers on the Razor Wire, the logo was designed by the guy who designed the logo for Blade Runner?
That's awesome. Nobody knew this. Nobody knew this.
Kind of socially significant, huh?
Yeah.
But you don't know, and no one's going to tell you because they hide things from the public, all right?
Right.
In comic history, they hide stuff and they bury stuff. I'm a guy they buried. I'm a guy they tried to hide everything about me, but I'm a groundbreaker. And okay, for American Horrors, the television channel, you have not read about American Horrors in Fangoria or Rue Morgue or any horror magazine anywhere. No horror website is promoting what we're doing, and we're free. We're totally free. We're free to the public, and we're showing really cool stuff that these horror magazines write about. They write about these movies, and they talk about these movies, and they talk about House of Seven Corpses, which is an example. I discovered that film because I read about it in Rue Morgue. So I hunted down the rights to get that fucking movie on American Horror. Now, does Rue Morgue talk about how I find all the movies in their review section and put them on American Horrors and make them free to watch worldwide? No, they don't. They don't. There's this weird censorship happening in our industry, and Kevin understands it, and I think you do, Dr. Ben.
Yeah.
That this thing is real. It's real, all right? So they talk about the algorithm, like they're going to hide things with the algorithm. That's a lie. That's human beings. It's not an algorithm. It's not some nameless, faceless program. It's human beings that are doing this, all right? A lot of horror magazines are run by weird SJ women now. Well, I don't know about that because at American Horrors, I work with a ton of women. I work with a lot of women. I believe in the power of women. I think that women add a very unique voice to horror. In my experience with female directors, is that female directors bring a personality to it. They bring an intimacy to horror that the men don't. And they bring a psychology that the men don't. And American Horrors was co-founded by my wife, Waka. And Waka ran her own horror channel, and I ran my horror channel. But they were both American Horrors, and we were both pals, and it had her own flavor, and I liked it. I liked the female perspective. I enjoyed the female view on horror. And I thought they really, I believe that women really bring an amazing depth to horror that was lacking, that men were missing. End of rant. Dr. Ben asked me a question.
Let's bring it around to the film festival.
The film festival.
Yeah, we've got this weekend is.
Well, I kind of want to hit Dr. Ben, you said you wanted to pepper me with questions about the Frank Miller interview. I want to fucking do that and then hit the festival.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like you answered so many of them because I was like, okay, well, what is that like? His first interview is going to hit Frank Miller. Because I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's already on the top of the industry, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you've been answering a lot of the questions I already had in mind. But I think I'll give you a good question. Is what? Obviously, you're open about PTSD. I, of course, have PTSD as well. I've witnessed satanic murders and horrors, and
Dr. Ben spent time in prison, Hart.
Nothing like watching somebody cut open with a box cutter for fun.
Dr. Ben spent time in prison.
That's a story from Hart Fisher that hasn't been told.
Dr. Ben doesn't like to talk about this, but he was witness to one of the most infamous murders in New Orleans history, the goth satanic vampire murders in New Orleans, and he spent time in prison over it.
That's true. That's true. I left prison when they had the Hurricane Katrina. So in addition to getting to see all the cool, OPP is like one of the bloodiest prisons in America. It was, still is, you know. The guy that did the crime literally murdered the person.
Ben, I'm going to get a refill on my beverage, but I can hear the mic, so you keep talking. I want to hear you, and I'm going to answer you. I'm walking over like 3 feet to go get more apple cider.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, so keep talking.
So yes, that's what I'm saying. It was like a direct witness of that, seeing all the people in the hurricane, bodies floating down in the French Quarter and everything. And it's like, I guess it qualifies as a traumatic experience, right? And I know with your, like I said, you have the PTSD from sordid stuff. And I've noticed it with other people when they have this traumatic experience, whatever it might be, right? They have different things, murder, rape, assault, whatever it is. What is it? Because it's something that you recognize in other people. What is that? Is what I'm asking you. I think that's what I'm saying. That's a good question to just bust your email.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We got you.
what you're asking, I've asked that same question myself.
Yeah.
I am absolutely puzzled why. Okay, the public doesn't know this, but cops, firemen, and war veterans love me.
Mm-hmm.
I get along with military people like a house on fire.
Yep.
I get along with police officers like a house on fire. Okay, I show up to go get hot dogs at a local bar called Champs, and they've got these awesome Chicago dogs. And so I drive in to go get these hot dogs, and I show up, and there's this 6'4" dude smoking cigars, and I'm like, man, that cigar smells great. And so we start talking about the cigars. Well, he was an undercover fucking Milwaukee cop who went undercover as a biker cop with biker gangs infiltrating over gun crimes, over gun distribution. And so there I am. I just run into this guy, and and he's like, hey, you want a cigar? Like, sure, yeah, I'll have it. Yeah. So I spent a couple of nights hanging out and just talking with him at the bar, different bars, because he was in town. He's out in Austin now. He can't really, what he told me was he can't really be a cop in town anymore because he's got a contract out for his life because he went undercover. And you know what I mean? So these are the people that I run into all the time. My very first night in town, my very first night here in Lake Geneva, I roll up with my late wife, Waka, and we stay at the Coachman's Terrace, which is like an RV. We drove an RV across the country. So to the guy about Gerard Way ripping off somebody, I'm not surprised. Sorry, buddy. I've got my
Patrick,
own
thanks for the $5
plagiarizing my
super chat,
poetry
and
for his song lyrics. So I've got my own problems with Gerard. I don't care about that.
I was going to say, let's let you finish your thought, and then we can get into that all you want.
It's my first night in Lake Geneva. It's 2015, and I ran out of LA because I had stalkers.
What time of year?
There were stalkers, and they were paid to harass me because of the Heart Attack radio show. Because of my political activities with the Heart Attack radio show, fighting corruption in Los Angeles, fighting against illegal property development for family dwellings that were going to be built on toxic land, because of my activities costing companies like Goldman Sachs millions of dollars that were doing illegal shit, people were paid to harass me. So I had stalkers that were harassing me, and my wife was sick.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I left in the middle of the night, so I bailed, and we didn't tell anybody where we went. Hold on, guys.
Oh, take your time.
I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I do the love bomb with explaining the satanic murder all in rapid fire, because that shit never leaves your fucking brain. Every time I close my eyes, you see some fucking poor bastard's face screaming. No sound. There's no sound in any of the memories, just screaming. But like nothing. Girl laughing. The girl, her name was Never. You're familiar with the House of a Thousand Corpses movie.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that. That came out that summer, 2003. The first time I got back up here, Ohio, flipping the channels, and it came to House of a Thousand Corpses. And I hear that laugh. You know that laugh that his wife had that like just demonic, horror, shrieking, giggling. That was her laugh. When he was fucking bad, he bashed the guy in the head with a champagne bottle, then held him under the water, praying to Baal. These are all his specific words. It was sacrifice to Baal. You know, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
He's laughing and screaming, giggling, just like Baby from the movie. I'm assuming that they must have seen the movie earlier that month or whatever.
A lot of people imitate the villainy they see in films. A lot of people do. They imitate the villainy they see in a book, and people go, well, you shouldn't write that. And it's like, no,
you have to.
Sick. That person's fucked up, and they're looking for something fucked up to do. All right, and that's part of that dialogue in House of a Thousand Corpses. that we're fucked up people and we like to fuck people up too. I mangled it, but it's that kind of thing. And okay, so I mentioned this stuff with I've dealt with a lot of violence. All right, so I've had a lot of violence in my life, and a lot of my friends are ex-convicts. Friends of mine are murderers. Friends of mine, a lot of military people gravitate to me. But I think it's because I'm honest. And I am martial. The martial arts that I've trained in throughout my entire life were all from military people. All right. So doing the Taekwondo, I learned a military Taekwondo. I did not learn candy ass fucking faggot Taekwondo. I learned kill motherfuckers Taekwondo. Then when I trained in LA with Gene the Bell and Gokor, okay, what are they teaching? Are they teaching you judo or jujitsu? No, they're teaching you, it's called finishing moves. And the idea is you execute the one move, fight is finished. It's over. And so the stuff we were doing at Gokor's and Gene's was really, truly dangerous. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that I did there training that I was scared. I was scared a lot. There was a lot of stuff we did that was super dangerous where you could get crippled or I could cripple my partner. I don't know what would be worse if I got crippled or if I crippled my friend. That leads to a different responsibility. And so in my training and doing this for year after year after year, when you're doing a heel hook on somebody,
you got to be careful.
You have to know when to stop in training, because you're not trying to destroy your partner. You are warriors training together to be able to fight on the battlefield. Okay. Right. So you're not there to destroy each other, but you're trying to like lead up to that edge so that you can fight on the battlefield. And so you develop a different sensitivity with your partner and also yourself. And so that applies to my life. And for myself, I don't give a fuck what you tweet. I don't give a fuck what you post on X. I don't give a fuck what you say on fucking YouTube. Are you in my bed at home sucking my cock? No, then I don't give a fuck. Are you going to be here making me a sandwich? I don't give a fuck. Are you going to be here making my bed? Are you going to do my laundry? Are you going to fold my laundry? Or am I folding your laundry? Am I making you dinner? Then I give a fuck, because I do all the cooking in my household.
Am I sucking your dick?
I do all the cooking. I don't. She doesn't have a dick for me to suck, but I eat that pussy a lot. I love to eat pussy, and I love my lady, and I love to eat her pussy.
She's here in the chat, and we appreciate her. We appreciate all the stuff she does for America.
Oh, that's right. Oh shit, he's watching.
Let me. Hey, let's bring this back real quick. Travis was kind enough to do a $5 super chat for us, and I never miss an opportunity to talk about Gerard Way's.
All right, so what is the super chat? So he coughed up $5 to what? Ask a question? I don't know.
Oh, no. Listen. He's asking a question about.
I don't know who he is.
No, he's asking a question about the. What I want to talk about is the general sort of notion that's sort of come about over the years. You were maybe the first to accuse Gerard Way of plagiarism.
It's not accuse. It's not accuse, guys. It's a fact.
Well, yeah, right? And more and more of that stuff has come out over the years.
My late wife, Waka, as a Japanese person from Tokyo, can you understand the idea of studying our own language? Okay. Can you imagine studying our language? Like we just take it for granted, right? So Waka had multiple degrees in English. And so Waka sat down and we were suing Gerard. I hired a federal trademark and copyright attorney, and he was all about this. He couldn't wait to go after this prick. And he had a similar background as me. He became a lawyer because one of his true loves had been murdered by a serial killer. And I've had a lot of my loves murdered. So we bonded over that. So this federal copyright attorney, who I paid money to and laid down a couple $1,000s in a retainer, and we started going forward with a lawsuit against Gerard. And Waka it made me crazy. I couldn't do it. I got so upset and so
Frustrated.
murderously angry. I couldn't control myself when I was looking at the song lyrics and seeing how much My Chemical Romance had ripped off my poetry for their song lyrics. Because it's my most personal work. It's all about my murdered girlfriend. And so this cocksucker sent all his fans to attack us while she was recovering from cancer. And I couldn't keep her from reading all this hate mail. I couldn't stop her from reading all this horrible shit, man, while she's recovering from cancer. And Gerard, he endorsed this. He made this happen.
Well, I want you to know that we're never going to, you know, we have it
hurt her so bad. So when people tell me, Hart, why can't you let this go? When they say, why can't you let this go?
That contributed.
No, you should never let it go.
I can see that.
And I want you to know that I'm always going to use this platform to call him out whenever I get the opportunity. We're going to cover a lot of Gerard Way material on this channel, and every single time we do it, I'm going to call him a plagiarist. I'm going to call him a plagiarist every single time. I will never admit that man without
day in court, Kevin, but I have worked with several creators behind the scenes and their lawyers because Gerard has ripped off a lot of people. All right.
We're not going to let that go.
Plagiarized from a lot of people, and I can't name the lawsuits for legal reasons, but I have worked behind the scenes with a lot of creators, especially one guy who had his shit ripped off for the Umbrella Academy. So I've worked with different lawyers, but I haven't gotten my day.
Well, we're going to help you get there every single time, and we're going to review every one of that motherfucker's comments. And when we do so, rest assured, he's going to be called a plagiarist every single time. I will not let a moment go by.
I'm sorry I got so emotional, guys.
No, you have every right to be emotional about it. And long before this guy gave me $5, it's always been my plan that if we're going to use this channel and we're going to use the voice that we have here to talk about comics, one of the things we're going to do is vindicate you having been plagiarized by fucking Gerard Way. 100%. I've told Dr. Ben this in private, that when I cover Gerard Way shit, I'm going to make sure to mention that he fucking ripped you off every single time.
And this guy is he's got a new
I didn't tell this dude to come in here and say this, Hart. I didn't tell this dude to come in here and give me $5 and say that. It's just in general, when we're in your orbit, the fact that this famous rich motherfucker ripped off, talentless motherfucker had to rip you off, and your pain.
Guys, the thing that upsets me the most is the attack on my wife when she was recovering from cancer.
Disrespect. Right. Yeah.
I could take a lot of pain. I get punched a lot. I could take a lot, but oftentimes what happens in my career is that the people I care about end up getting targeted. And the people that I care about are the ways that folks will get at me.
Because they can't attack you because you're a man, and these people are fucking scumbag cowards. And I told Dr. Ben that before we started doing this show together.
I'm fine with a good fight.
No, and I tell Dr. Ben this all the time. If you can't fist fight over something, then don't fucking argue about it. You know, between men, if you can't fight each other,
I can have a discussion. I mean, I'm okay if people don't like my work. Like this notion of like, how dare you tell Rob Liefeld you don't like his art? There's why? Fuck, why is that bad? Okay, I used to hang out every once in a while. I knew the drummer from Poison, Ricky Rocket. So Ricky was publishing comic books, and I was friends with his main guy. I knew him from the horror community, Mark. And so I'm dealing with Ricky, and I don't like Poison. I said, get the fuck out of here. That's not my band. But I had a conversation with Ricky where I'm like, Ricky, I hate your band, but you're a cool dude. I think you're cool. I like what you're doing is cool. I think your comic books are fun. And he was into stick fighting, full contact stick fighting. He was into that shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm into this. I mean, I don't have to like your band to like you.
Right.
As a person. Like if your wife makes you a shitty dinner, do you hate your wife?
Right.
If your husband makes you a crappy meal, do you hate your husband?
That's the sickness of social media today, Hart.
For you and tucked you in at night.
That's the sickness of social media. Is it only takes one thing to divide us, to send us to complete opposite ends of this like social or political spectrum. And I constantly say I want Strangeville to be an island where we can put all that petty shit aside and just appreciate comic books together. Because I think that it should only take one thing that brings us together to allow us to put all the shit that separates us aside, at least temporarily. And the internet or social media is the inverse of that. It only takes one little petty thing. I did a review last week on Chuck. You guys were talking about Chuck Dixon when I got kicked out of the fucking chat for a minute. I reviewed Chuck Dixon's Trump Space Force. He did a whole satirical
Trump
Space Force. Chuck Dixon wrote and Tim,
awesome.
Yeah, Tim Lynn drew it.
Good. Trump Space Wars.
Oh, it's great, and it's got a bunch of cameos from people around the 2016 election. And this dude jumped in. This dude immediately.
That sounds like a Boneyard Press comic.
Dude, it's amazing. And this dude jumped in my comments immediately and was like, "Kevin, you and me are done." I was like, "Well, if all it takes is me reviewing a comic book about a political figure you don't like, then we never were in the first place.
I'm recruiting right now for next year. Okay, I've been having a lot of problems getting the Big Book of Dahmer out. I just had an issue with my printer. I've been having all kinds of problems getting my books out. Right, so
we're going to review the shit out of that book as soon as you finish.
I'm all about getting my books out. And so my comic book project for 2025 is Kill Marvel 2025. And I'm looking for creators to work with me on this. I want to do an all-star book. And I want to crowdfund it for next summer. And it's going to be Kill Marvel 2025. And I'm going to write it. But I want to do it with a bunch of different creators that got fucked over by Marvel. I want to bring in Chuck Dixon. I want to bring in all these different guys. I'll bring in Ethan Van Sciver.
I was going to say Ethan Van Sciver ought to be in there.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. But right now, my focus is on
Dale Keown.
Okay, for the people at home, like we're talking about this stuff, and I'm getting all teary-eyed. And I hope you guys are okay. I get emotional, and I'm okay with the fact that I'm emotional. I'm passionate. And I care deeply. Like I had this conversation with my girlfriend, like, hey, if you died, do you want me to forget you? How important were you? You're going to die and that's it. You're gone. So my dead walk with me. They're important to me. They were important to me in life. They're important to me in death. And I carry them with me. And I guess you could say I do. I carry them with me. And they're with me. My mom, my dad, all of them, everybody. Half my jewelry and what I wear is from my loved ones that are gone. I wear my father's Shriner ring. I wear my wife's different scarves and stuff. And people are like, why you got that Hello Kitty bag, you big queer? And I'm like, that's my mom's bag. I bought her that Hello Kitty bag in Japan because I had a little bag for Waka, my late wife. And I had a little Hello Kitty bag, and my mom loved it, and she thought it was so cute. So when I was in Tokyo, I made sure to get my mom a mom-sized Hello Kitty bag. So everybody wants to give me shit about the Hello Kitty bag. Fuck you! It was my mom's.
It's my mom's. Yeah.
I'm carrying my mom around. You guys want to fucking talk your fucking shit? You don't know shit. It's my mom's bag. And I got a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff in there from Tokyo. I got Hello Kitty nail files and stuff. But it's about remembering your mother and honoring your dead. And I think that our culture forgets our dead. And if you're going to honor them, 100%. You got to love them and carry them in your life and remember 100%. Them. And that's... I'm getting witty.
Listen, Dr. Ben, any more questions you have about the Frank Miller interview before we head in and transition into Hart Fisher's awesome American Horrors Film Festival and let him
And
get out
also,
of here?
I'll talk to you about, you wanted to talk about Gerard Way. I'll talk to you about that too. But Ben, ask me about Frank. Because the conversation with Frank, I've had multiple conversations, and Frank has serious alcohol problems. So Frank has had a serious drinking problem that nobody in the public wants to talk about. But a lot of his art degraded because of his alcoholism.
Are
Okay?
you very much older than him?
I'm 55.
Yeah, how old is he?
He's way older than me.
Is he
Yeah.
way older than you? Okay.
Then
When we did
nobody
the
from
interview,
my generation of comics looks like me, dude.
no,
Isn't it funny?
you're way
Everybody
healthier
from
than
my generation, I look like I looked then.
right.
A couple extra moles, maybe, but
Right.
I look like I looked then.
No, that's what I was
because
gonna say,
I'm
is
still
Frank-
the same guy. I
Frank,
didn't
like-
become a dad or a fucking sellout. I'm Hart. I've been
Frank,
Hart
yeah,
the whole
no.
time.
Absolutely. And Frank looks like he accelerated in some kind of hyperbolic chamber and
No,
changed his
Frank's got an
age
alcohol
20
problem.
years. That's
Remember,
what I'm
I
saying.
just said alcohol problem.
That's what I was
And
getting
nobody,
at.
Nobody wants to talk about it. All right.
It
Nobody
seems
will
like the
admit it.
alcohol
This
aged
is
him.
also part of my own thing, like me backing off of booze. Like alcohol has been affecting me. It's been fucking with me. So it fucks with my PTSD. I've been working with my doctor hardcore, and a lot of my alcohol drinking has fed these panic attacks. And they're horrible. They're fucking awful, man. They're fucking bad, dude.
Right?
I feel like I'm going to die. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack and die. It's awful. It's fucking awful.
I don't mean to
Last
say
week I
that.
almost went to the ER. I almost went to the ER last week. It was that bad.
Yeah.
It went on for like an hour and a half. It was insane. So this notion about Frank, he's got a hardcore alcohol problem, guys, and the public doesn't know it. And the industry that's parasitically based on making money off of him won't acknowledge it. And they won't acknowledge that he has an alcohol problem. And they're not going to talk about that. And he is old as fuck. What does that guy do to work out?
Oh, anymore? Nothing. He's
What
on
the
his
fuck does he do to work out?
That
What has
dude's
he
gonna
ever
be-
done to work out? He
that
sat
dude's
at
gonna
a
be dead
fucking
soon.
table and fucking drew.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of cartoonists. But then you add
Kyle
alcohol
Rhodes
into
is a
it.
bodybuilder. Kyle works out like okay, Billy
Yeah.
Tucci. Billy Tucci stays in shape.
Yeah.
You know,
Simon Bisley.
look at
Frank Frazetta.
fucking the guy from Chaos, Brian Polito. He looks like a
Brian
clown.
Polito.
He looks like the fucking clown from The Simpsons. He looks like he's fucking what's it? Something Sideways Bob or
Yeah, Sideshow Bob. Yeah.
Sideshow, but he looks like Sideshow Bob's cousin. He looks terrible. That guy doesn't work out. I don't know what that guy fucking eats. I mean, I've had like I've been drinking a lot. Like for me, pulling back on the booze has been really good. I've had to relearn how to sleep because I used to have to drink myself to sleep when my girlfriend was murdered and the different murder trials. I went through 10 years in 3 different murder trials. I drank myself to sleep every night for 10 years, guys. So I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with the mistakes I've made. And right now, my mom passed, my wife passed. I mean, half my people are dead. So who's left? Who's left?
I always say we keep losing people till it's our turn. As we get older, like aging means you keep losing all the people you love until it's your turn, and then you're
so
you're
you
the
got
one
to
that's
decide
the
for
one that's
yourself. Like, who are you? Like, are you the person that was held up by these dead people, or are you yourself? And I'm myself. And so the film festival is part of that. Why did I do the film festival? Well, I launched American Horrors Film Festival when my wife was dying in 2017. She was in the hospital. She was in Janesville, and she had had severe anemia, and she'd had a couple of emergency. Her blood level. My wife's health story is so insane. It's kind of a miracle. Her whole story. It's off the chain, and in her death, I needed something else. You know, I kind of knew we lost. There was a point in the battle for her life where I knew we're going to lose. You're going to die. And to distract myself, I started the film festival. And what did I do to distract myself? I had to find something that I was really passionate about. What could occupy my attention while my wife is dying? Horror movies.
Right.
The Horror Film Festival. So what is the Horror Film Festival about? It's about me, Hart Fisher, finding the next John Carpenter, the next Tobe Hooper, the next real serious director. Okay, you guys have all heard of Terrifier? Well, hey, Terrifier's first appearance was on American Horrors back in 2008.
Okay.
Tastemakers, Bad Candy, an amazing horror anthology by Scott Hansen. Scott Hansen is an emerging horror director that I really believe in. Also, Matt Savage, great director, American Horrors. Because the plan is, I'm looking for finances. American Horrors has the audience.
Right.
We have the viewers. So what I need now is I need the money to make our own original programming, like a fictional thing. Okay. We've got original programming. We got Gorecast. We got Mission Terror. Mission Terror is based out of Rockford, Illinois. Those guys are fantastic. They're a paranormal investigation show. I love those fucking guys. Their show's fun. And they don't always find a ghost. It's the only goddamn show that will admit we didn't find shit. The only goddamn paranormal investigation show that will go, oh, just pigeons. Just pigeons. Oh, shit, look out, pigeons. The only one. So American Horrors has a lot of original programming, and we've got the American Horrors Film Festival series that's running on Friday nights. But we need to do the next level for the network is to do an X-Files show. And I've got the show. I've got it. I've been working on this show for 15 years. It involves the X-Files, exorcism, and real satanic cults that have tried to recruit me. I know stuff. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, people at home. Conspiracy theorist people. I know things.
There are real satanic cults in this country and in the
No. I work
world.
with
But it's the Satanists. It's the Satanists that will gaslight you and tell you that they aren't real. Oh, we don't actually worship Satan. We don't commit murders. We don't bloodlet. We don't consume flesh. They'll tell you that publicly. They don't want anybody. I tried to interview a Satanist who used to light me up on social media all the time. I was like, "Come on my show and tell me all about it, dude." And he would not debate me live on webcam because on my show.
No, I have him on I had him on my heart attack show all the time. I'm friends with associates with Lucian Greaves, who got the Baphomet on the Oklahoma steps. And good job, Lucian. Good job, motherfucker. I judge people by people. And I judge people by their actions and how they behave. And okay, so Lucian Greaves is a provoker. He's a provocateur. He's having fun. And I like what he's doing. I support Lucian. I support what he's doing. I think if you're going to have a cross on the fucking courthouse steps, why not a Baphomet? How about a Jewish cross? How about the Jewish star? If you're going to get religious, in America, we believe in the separation of church and state. And I believe in that. We must keep church and state separate. And in America, I believe in our concept of worship the religion you want to. Okay? Remember, America was founded by people that were persecuted for their religious beliefs. Okay? So America was founded on people fleeing religious persecution. So our country is based on the idea of worshiping the God you want to worship. And I believe in that. I fully, wholeheartedly, I love America. I love my country. I believe in my country. we have faults. We're kind of fucked up, but you got to struggle. It's King Arthur and his court. You got to struggle. You got to struggle for the ideal. You're going to fail. You're going to fuck up. You're going to fall down. But we have this opportunity with this wonderful country that we have to be, and we are the leaders. We are the leaders of the free world. So this notion of free speech and being censored in like fucking Ireland and fucking England is insane. It's fucked up. So we are the bastions of free speech, and we must honor and understand that we are here for all free speech. So if Evan wants to do his Comicsgate thing, go ahead, Evan, do your thing. If Ripperverse guys want to do their Ripperverse thing, go ahead, guys. If Marvel wants to do their weird gay binary bullshit, go ahead, guys. Let's see who buys that book. Go ahead. Do your gay superheroes. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Do it. Let the market decide. Okay? I believe in free speech. I believe in all creators, except for I can't get behind bestiality or child porn.
Well, yeah, that's
Right. That's what I'm talking about is the
If you're
satanic cults that actually
victimizing
harm children.
somebody who cannot say no,
Exactly.
you're a predator, and that's a problem, right? At American Horrors, okay,
What
we
about-
do horror movies, right? I'm the horror guy, right? But I was a bouncer, and when I was a bouncer, I was the guy that walked all the girls to their car. Not to hit on them, not to get laid. I just wanted them to get to their car safe.
Yeah.
That's me. I did that. I didn't do it for lulz. I didn't do it for virtue signaling. I just wanted those girls to get to their car safe. That's it.
What
And
are
so
what
I
are some
think
of
we
your
got to get back to that?
what are some of your favorite movies that you're going to play this weekend at the American Horror Film Festival? Can you, if you just had to name 2 or 3?
The whole fest, fucker.
it's live in the
The
theater.
whole fucking festival. The whole fucking festival. Oh, I have a big black cock. Well, that's nice. Have fun with that big black cock.
In the freezer.
I have a small white cock. What do you think of that?
Well, I used to have a big black dildo that was 9 inches. We used in porn, but it was dead. So I always laugh about lesbians when they're like, "Oh, I've got a strap on." You've got a dead phallus.
Yeah.
So you're fucking somebody with a dead phallus. So when I have intercourse, it's alive. There's blood and soul and life in my jam. You're fucking somebody with a dead cock. Have fun with that. Let's get back to the comics. Let's go in a weird direction here, man. We're talking about dead penises.
Speaking of dead, what do you
speaking of
look
dead
at
dicks.
with Frank Miller now? Like that's I guess that is my question. Is like 'cause I can't think of anything from the interview that I'm like, well, what about that? Like I'm not, trying to avoid the faggotry and everything, So my question, like, what do you look at him at now? Like it's been, I hate to say it, 30 years since
He's been doing
You guys were
really
such jerks. You guys were dicks. Especially you, Kevin. Hey, old man Miller. Hey, old man Miller. Fuck you, Kevin. You were a jerk. You're a jerk.
Okay.
You're being an ageist. You're being an ageist.
It's his
man
condition.
Miller. Oh,
It's his condition, not his age. It's his condition.
As you've got your gray man faggot beard. Look at that fucking
It's
dork
looking
knob.
really gray,
Yank on
isn't
that
it?
goddamn thing.
It's
When you're
looking
sucking
really
my
gray.
cock, I'm gonna be yanking that fucking
I got a
thing
little-
around to
There's
make
a
your
little
fucking
color
head
down
bob
here.
the way I want it to bob.
slowly.
Dude, you're killing
It's
me
his-
with that old man stuff. Don't do that.
It's his
Kevin, that's a
condition.
mistake.
It's his condition.
Don't be an
Hart.
ageist.
It's not about his age. It's about his condition. He seems to have deteriorated so much over the last 20 years.
Alcoholism.
And that's what you're saying, that you're
Alcoholism.
putting a reason behind it.
And also,
It's
what does
it's
that guy
no
do to work out?
See, he's better than ever. I'm telling you.
What does he do to work out?
and his
That
art
guy
has
work out?
suffered. Not only is his physical condition suffered, but so is his art, as Dr. Ben was alluding to earlier.
The art suffered because of the alcoholism. The same, okay,
Right.
this
right.
happened to Bernie Wrightston, all right? The public doesn't know that at a certain
And
point,
Wally Wood.
Bernie couldn't draw. Part of it was lead. He was getting lead poison, and it was affecting Bernie's ability to handle the brush, So Frank, and I will say this has happened to me where because of my drinking, I had handshakes. Okay. That's part of why I'm like, I got to stop. You know what I mean? Like, I got to back off. Like, I realized at a certain point that I started to get the handshakes until I got some booze in me. And I was like, dude, you got to make a change in your life. You have to change. This handshake thing, fuck that, man. Fuck that. You got to make a change. You're a martial artist. You're into your health. The alcohol for me and alcohol has been like an emotional thing. I didn't drink until my girlfriend was raped and murdered. But before that, I had 2 other girlfriends raped. And I had this whole parade of violence. And when Michelle got raped and murdered is when I started drinking myself to sleep and drinking all the time. Hart, when was the last time you drew a comic?
Yeah.
2004.
I don't mean to laugh.
Last time I drew comic books, the last time the last stories I Hart Fisher drew, I've been drawing for the Boneyard Mystery Box, and I've been really enjoying it. I've been really.
You want me to grab that drawing you did for me?
Yeah.
In the in my mystery box.
Kevin can say, like, he knows, like, every Boneyard Mystery Box on AmericanHorrors.net/shop. AmericanHorrors.net/shop. Get your Boneyard Mystery Box today. You're going to get 11 to 14 different comic books and all kinds of crazy crap from my life and an original pencil sketch. So the pencil sketches have been really good for me to get back into art and get back into what I'm doing. Night Cry. I've got them for sale. Night Cry 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the last times I drew. Yeah. Oh, you got that one? Oh, dude. That's a demon in my head.
Cover up those titties, though, sir. You're gonna.
Yeah, that's a succubus. Yeah, that's a succubus, dude.
Cover up those titties. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
No, they're demon tits. It's okay, YouTube. They're just demonic boobs.
I think you might have sent me more than just that.
Yeah, let's see what you got in the box. This is the American Horrors goodie box, huh?
So
well, there's more than just this. What's that?
Oh, she's a stripper in St. Louis.
Hey,
yeah.
I should look her up.
Dead Girl is based on a real one of the Boneyard bitches. Dimitri Patelis in Canada, fantastic airbrush artist.
Nice.
I think that's number 3. That's my late wife, Waka.
Oh.
Co-founder of American Horrors.
With a bunch of we got some bookmarks and some some pins.
Okay, so Kevin, bring that back up. So he should have had a Coke. That postcard was for sale at Mocha in Los Angeles. So that postcard was in the gift shop of the Los Angeles County Museum of Art.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm a fine.
Oh yeah, here's a loose one. Here's a loose one right here.
I'm a fine artist after all.
We got a poster with it. This was all for $25, by the way.
That's from the film festival. So that is the brochure from the film festival from 2019.
There you go. And that's all the films on the back, I assume. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the movies.
He much like myself, Hart Fisher is a multimedia man.
And I would really like to push people like, Chance Meeting. Perfect timing. Flowers on the Razor Wire. Okay, guys, the feature film of Flowers on the Razor Wire is going to be free at noon. At noon on Saturday this week, October 5th. Flowers on the Razor Wire, the feature film, is playing for free. Directed by Joe Monks.
Nice.
Blind. The world's first feature film written and directed by a blind director.
Wait a minute. How does he read the script? How does this happen?
He wrote the script.
How does he write? Does he like seriously? Like, how does he write? Does he use a keyboard?
He wrote it. He passed away last. That's the Outlaw Nation poster, and that's from. Put it up again.
Yeah.
Okay, so this here is the Outlaw Nation poster from the fan club, and we're all in Champaign, Illinois, and we're all carrying real firearms. In fact, the one thing is a AK-47 with a fucking Woodstock from China. These are all actual firearms that we're all posing with all my crazy friends in Champaign, Illinois from 1992.
Signed by Hart Fisher.
Welcome to the nation, motherfucker.
And just a ton of these awesome Boneyard Press, classic Boneyard Press comics.
Sever. That's a really gory, fucked up book. Oh, yeah, Mighty Morphin Rump Rangers. That's so much fun. That's a great book.
Rangers.
Drawn by Nelson Danielson.
Little preview of that. We're gonna do, like I said, Hart, we're gonna do episodes on all this stuff. And these are all signed. If you can you see that? These are all signed by Hart Fisher. $25.
Well, if you do a Boneyard mystery box, that's part of the thing. Oh, Godflesh. The artist of that, the cover painter, is dead. The guy who painted that, Mark Basilevich, he passed away in his bed at Monster Palooza in LA about 10 years ago.
Oh, that's tragic. That's
tragic. A lot of the Boneyard Press guys are dead.
Yeah.
Seriously, a lot of the guys from Boneyard Press are all gone.
Look at this shit.
Oh, that's my art.
Look at that.
I drew that. That's my work.
$25, and this isn't even a fraction of it. I took a lot of the comics out of this box.
Do you like my work?
Oh, I love it.
You like the art?
I love it.
That's what we do. You know.
Got a keychain here too. I need to put this on my.
I have to.
Keys. No, I love this shit. I couldn't be a bigger fan of this stuff, which is why it's awesome to me. Hang on, let me get myself.
So, do you like the fact that you got this Boneyard mystery box?
Oh,
I should have got up 2 seconds earlier. I got a refill of cider.
I would have paid twice for what I got.
Keep showing Godflesh. I gotta get more cider, guys. I need more sugar. It's apple cider. Apple cider from Pierce Farms.
What number of books are in there? That's what I'm saying. Like you're at like a dozen or something already.
Geez, yeah, he sent me at least a dozen books and DVDs and posters. I mean, it's a great value. $25. There's a link in the description to AmericanHorrors.net, which will get you. Not only will it get you these mystery boxes and these classic Boneyard Press books, but it'll also lead you to the film festival and the Roku channel. And the Roku channel's free, and Hart plays classic horror movies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, round the clock. He has original programming, as he talked about. I've had the pleasure of having my film Cockhammer played on the American Horrors channel, which just tickles me that I get to be part of this amazing history of Boneyard Press and American Horrors. And I consider Hart to be, Hart, I consider you a friend. A lot of people in the industry talk on the phone and send texts back and forth, and I think that people take for granted sometimes that people are friends when they're really just professional acquaintances. But I consider you a friend, and that's why I say I'm going to go to bat for you every time I get the opportunity to call out Gerard Way and his plagiarism, because I consider you a personal friend, and I want to help you any way I can. And I'm glad to have you on the show today to promote the film festival, to promote American Horrors, the channel, to promote Boneyard Press.
I did want to come on. Okay. Unlike other, I guess I'm a public figure. As a public figure, a lot of people don't want to admit that they pay attention. Eugene Izzy, Vox, yes. Besides Mickey Lane, Eugene Izzy, Vox, what are their authors? Fuck, dude. Eugene Izzy was one of my hugest influences. I fucking love that guy's work. I've got every fucking book he fucking wrote. And Andrew Vox, love that guy. And how about this? Hey, guys. I got to have drinks with Andrew Vox and Eugene Izzy.
See, now I would pronounce that Andrew Vaches is how I would.
Andrew Vox.
Yes, he would.
Andrew Vox, you fucking fag. Andrew Vox. Andrew Vox passed away recently. He's an amazing hard-boiled writer, and also he was a super huge child advocate because his whole thing was about the abuse of children. And so he was using writing, and he had managed a fucking juvenile criminal facility and worked with like fucking tracking syphilis with the government. Like Andrew Vox is one of my heroes. And okay, guys, I'm lucky enough that I've been able to interact with my heroes. All right. So for everybody at home who's listening to this, I'm here to tell you, you can live all your dreams because I have. You're going to go, oh, well, you're not in a mansion. That's not what it's about.
That ain't
It's
what
not
it's
about the
fucking about.
mansion. It's about the journey. It's about the journey. And so I've been able to, I've been able to meet all my heroes. So when you brought up Eugene Izzy was murdered. He was murdered. He was a prominent Chicago crime writer and huge influence. I fucking drove from Champaign, Illinois up to Chicago every time this guy had a public fucking reading at a library. I drove up hours to go. I guess you guys don't know that about me. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. So I drove up to meet Andrew Vox and Eugene Izzy. I drove up to they had a whole art show that they were involved with in Chicago, and I grabbed. Do you guys know who Timothy Bradstreet is?
No.
He draws all the covers for The Punisher. Timothy Bradstreet. You fucking know who this guy's art. You fucking know this guy's art. He does all the Punisher covers, and he does the super photorealistic stuff. And he's been doing it for a long time. And if you're a gamer fan, he used to be an illustrator for White Wolf Games.
Yep. Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah. Vampire the Masquerade, motherfucker. So Tim is from that generation of Werewolf, Vampire the Masquerade. So, okay, you're getting geeky with me, motherfucker. We're going to go geeky. Because I'm 30-year geeky, and I'm into all this stuff. So Tim and I we're driving up to Chicago to go do this art gallery opening with Andrew Vox and Eugene Izzy. And we're driving up. This is real. We're driving in my 83 Chevy Impala, which everybody called the Narc. It's every cop car you've ever seen in every movie, the 83 Chevy Impala, and it's powder blue, just like all the Narc cars. And I'm driving up there, and Tim called it the Bluesmobile. And so we're driving up there. We're up on fucking I-55 heading up to Chicago. And he's got the fucking map out. And the fucking map is out. We're like, where are we going, man? Well, we're going to go right up here. And I swear to God, the hand of God reached in through the window and ripped out the one part of the map we need. No, it did. You're going to go right up here. And we're going to... It just ripped off. It just ripped off and flew out the window. The one part of the goddamn map that we needed to go to the Andrew Vox signing ripped off. It was like something out of a movie. It was insane. But at the end of the day, we made it, and I got to hang out, and I got to really have fun talking with Andrew Vox, and I got to have fun multiple times talking with Eugene Izzy. Eugene Izzy is one of my favorite writers, and Andrew Vox, same thing. Like one of my top 10 writers, Andrew Vox. I'm so into his work, big time. I live my life by his work a lot, big time. It's why I don't allow sexual shit to happen on my set. I'm not going to allow somebody to fucking get rapey on my set. I won't allow somebody to be. I don't do that. And if I see that, if I'm on a shoot, I think it's hurt my career. I do. I think it has hurt me because I have been like, no. Hey, motherfucker, no. I'm bigger than you. No. Stop. You don't have a choice in the matter. You're gonna stop.
Yeah.
I think it has hurt my career.
As a director on a set, I think it's, you just inherently you take on responsibilities that you might not think about otherwise. But I remember I didn't have a lot of
cast, man.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot.
Look out for them. You're the bodyguard. That's
right.
Okay, my nickname, Gene the Bell, gave me the nickname Big Brother in the dojo, Big Brother, and it was a compliment. It was a compliment. I looked out for people. I looked out for my partners.
Somebody has to, yeah. Somebody has
So in the martial arts community, in the people I trained with, I looked out for my partners. And with Gokor, in my business relationships, I looked out for Gokor. I look out for my people. and I will tell them, hey, this guy that's financing your film, he's a meth dealer. You should walk away.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I will tell you this. I will let you know. And so I know stuff because I'll tell somebody, hey, this guy's a rapey meth dealer.
Yeah.
And
I
you
dealt
still
with a
work
lot.
with this person? So you're telling me something about yourself. If you're going to continue to work with a predator, you're telling me about yourself.
Yeah, I had to cut one guy out who was he was working with me on some films here in St. Louis, and he would literally create a casting couch. We would get these girls that would respond to our ads and want to be in the movies, and he would try to
Okay,
fuck all of
Kevin,
them.
for myself, doing films, and I did porn. Like I shot porn. Okay, so when I would cast stuff for my movies, and if it involved nudity, I made sure that there was a woman in the room with me to protect myself.
Right.
Not because I was like a weird prick, but just to protect me from accusations. I made sure that every time I dealt with somebody doing a nude scene, that there was another adult woman there,
Right.
that could be like a witness, be like, hey, you're not a jerk. You're just being a professional.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
I had to eliminate that guy. He made
doing
me uncomfortable.
Stuff with nudity is tricky. And I've done a lot of stuff where I'm nude. Okay. Right. So you guys know,
me too.
My big gag is I get covered in blood and I got a machete and I'm naked and I'm running around. I'm crazy. But it's not sexual. I'm not erect.
Right.
I don't have an erection. So that kind of changes the tone of what we're doing.
Right. I would always tell people when I made movies, I'll never ask you to, because we did a lot of degrading stuff in my films.
No, in Cockhammer, I'll tell you straight up, Kevin, a lot of my staff was not happy when I played Cockhammer. They did not like that movie.
There's a lot of degrading stuff.
Playing Cockhammer was meant to be outlaw. The point of us playing that, you were part of our God, what do we do? What do we call it?
What do we call it? One night only, one fright only.
Yeah, one fright only. The point was one fright only. We're going to show you this really controversial thing that's really like, holy shit. You only got one night. And that's the Film Fest. The Film Fest is that. These are horror films from around the world that nobody's seen. And the great thing for people coming is they've got me as a curator. Okay.
You mean to read thick rules?
Oh no, I know that story. I could talk about that after I'm done. I know all about that. I heard that from Gene's wife. Gene's wife told me the whole. I know all about the Stephen Skull.
He's a whole conversation in and of himself. Go ahead.
No, I can tell you guys the truth.
Don't let that derail you, though. Go ahead. Keep.
So we're going to go back to the film fest. So the film festival with American Horrors is okay. I'm already the head of programming for the American Horrors TV channel. I've already been a controversial figure in horror for 30 years. I mean, holy shit, dude. I can't believe I started publishing Boneyard Press. The first Boneyard Press comic book came out May 1991. I can't believe I've been doing this long. And before then, I was behind the scenes working with North Star and Faust. So the guy who published Faust was one of my buddies from grade school. Dan Madsen and I were buddies. We were trying to figure out how to do a comic book company all through high school. Okay. So when he did Faust, yay, good job, Dan. Kick ass. Good job, dude. Yeah. So I was right there. But that's a part of comic book history that's left out.
Well,
it's left out.
And I have called out Heidi McDonald and Rich Johnson and like all those other people by name, and like I repeatedly have called them like just retarded cunts and like cowards and everything else. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I whatever the comics industry.
How does that relate to me talking about the unforgotten history of North Star Comics and Dan Madsen?
Because those are exactly the people that cut all of that out. Heidi McDonald is the person that is exactly the person that sees
Heidi McDonald
and says
Heidi.
Rich Johnson's the same guy. Well, Rich Johnson.
Tell me about Heidi McDonald. Go ahead. Tell me about that broad.
Where, like, what do you want to know? Like, just that
I don't know shit. I just know that she does not like Boneyard Press. She's come out against me a couple of times. I don't know anything about her, but I know her name has come up in comic talk.
She's just been like, a comics journalist since the 90s. I've got her in one of the back issues of
I remember her from the 90s, but I don't.
She runs the comics beat site. I guess she's like the head director or editor or whatever, writes different bits and whatnot. And I mean, she's not to like just continually harp on the piss score thing.
No,
but
I've had my fights with Heidi. I've had arguments with Heidi because, frankly, she's a censor. She's another censor, and she's an asshole.
I thought you said spinster.
Hi, Heidi. You're the one that talks a lot of shit about something you don't do. Tell me how many comic books you've done, Heidi. Tell me how many comic books you've written. Hey, Heidi, have you ever published a comic book? Have you ever spent your own fucking money? Hey, that's the part about comic publishing. Let's talk about that. Hey, I spent my own fucking money. I spent my money to publish Rectum or Rectum. My money. I spent my money to publish these books. Hey, Heidi.
I do have an issue of Rare Bit Fiends with a couple of Dream comic panels.
She didn't pay for it. Rick Veach did that. Rick does Rare Bit Fiends.
I'll send you a copy of him.
Creator. Rick is a visionary. Rick is amazing. Heidi, parasite on the Hound. Heidi's a flea on the Hound. No, that's what she is. I mean, have you guys not seen Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 1? The first critic, Kevin. The first critic, Kevin. What does the first critic do? He gets up in his little stone shorts and he pees on the painting. That's Heidi. You create nothing, Heidi. You're worthless. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, isn't it?
No,
Tolkien,
fuck you. Fuck you, man. You create nothing. What the fuck? Fuck you. You create nothing. Fuck you.
It's Tolkien that says that evil can't create. Evil can only corrupt. And someone like Heidi can only corrupt.
Evil creates lots of things. Remember, I'm friends with all the Satanists.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever comics was
Dances with the Devil, guys. You got to understand. Okay. When Marilyn Manson wanted to release his country album, who did he come to?
Get the fuck out of here. Really?
Oh, I guess you guys don't know that.
I don't know that.
There was not a big press release about that one. We didn't have a press release. Oh, no press release. Yes. Dr. Ben's comment.
This is exactly like
Marilyn Manson, not Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson, the actual serial killer's people contacted me to release his country album.
Oh, well, Charles. I thought you said Marilyn. Wait,
no, the music was good. The music was good. His country album was good.
Oh, he's a great musician. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wait.
I turned it down.
You worked with the Beach
guys. I'm publishing comic books. I'm not doing records.
That is a bait and switch, I'm going to say.
But I want you to remember that. Think about that. I want everybody out there to think about this. Forbidden history. Forbidden history. Where did Charles Manson go to release his record? And you never heard that before.
Okay, the best question I have.
Why? I'm just telling you guys the truth.
This is what am I doing wrong? What am I like? What I've got a fucking perfect, crazy, super nutty, goth, weirdo backstory, right? And not that like success is everything, but you know what I'm saying? It's like there should be more. People should be like rioting, like angry that I'm like releasing a comic. What am I doing wrong to not
rich.
have?
I didn't get rich off this stuff. I'm pursuing my dream. All right. So I'm pursuing what I love. I'm not rich.
But everyone knows who Hart Fisher is.
Struggling. I'm working hard, and a lot of people have like been helping me, but I'm hurting like everybody else. I'm an artist like everybody else. It's pretty crazy that I'm still, it doesn't end. Like, to do the TV channel,
Yeah, it doesn't.
people buying the comic books and people buying the different merchandise, and somebody who calls up and goes, I want to get a Brooks Night Guard. That actually like keeps the network on the air. So if somebody goes, I want an earbud, like we've got a new ad on the network for hearing aids. So we've been like rooting for like, let's have more people get hearing aids. Get your hearing aid from American Horror. Get the nanobuds. That's what we've been really like trying to push, is that. Okay,
you're tickling yourself with the old ageism stuff here.
I did not know how many people had so much jaw tension.
The lady beckons.
I've got TMG. I mean, I've got like I got this tension.
Oh yeah. The lady beckons, Hart.
Oh, did Abby say I'm on the air too long? Oh, it's not quite 3 hours. It's only Abby. I only got on the show at like fucking 5 or 4.
Yeah, that was so long.
Brian says, "Give me 3 more hours of these guys."
Well, we're having a good time, and you know, guys, the film festival. Fuck. Okay.
So it's in Chicago. Where is it at? I can't.
Horror. Okay.
Where is the film festival at?
Horror, come to the film fest. We're in downtown Lake Geneva. We're at the end of this conversation here, and we're in downtown Lake Geneva at the Grapevine Theater, which is where they used to do a magic show. There was a guy, a magician. He was doing magic shows there. And so they just renovated it. So I was there, and they fucking got new carpet, new tables, new chairs, new everything. It's nice. It's really nice. I'm going to have to work really hard to keep myself off of the red stuff. I mean, I'm okay here with the apple cider, but it's red wine. It's red wine, you guys. It's the bottle shop.
That's what I'm drinking.
A really good wine shop. And so
that's what I'm drinking.
This whole complex, and we're in the back. And all the movies are awesome, man. And the first movie is free. So the first movie is Flowers of the Razor Wire, which is directed by Joe Muggs. And it's blind guy.
Blind director, right. Okay.
World premiere of this film. That's Chance Meeting. That's a different film. If you want to get Chance Meeting, buy Chance Meeting. It's online at AmericanHorrors.net/shop.
Which
we're
is
talking about
the first
Joe.
link in the description.
Here's a fun thing in that film. Okay, so in that DVD that you might not know is okay. So Joe was blind. So he's blind. So how do you do the stunt?
Yeah,
how do you do the stunt? That. He played hockey. He could take a hit, and he's like, just smack me, because there's no way to fake it. He can't see the slap coming. So if you buy the Flowers of the Razor Wire Chance Meeting DVD, you're going to get every single take of Joe getting smacked in the face. Because Heine, well, she's a Hungarian model. She's a model from Hungary, and she was a porn star. And she was really lovely and nice. And, oh, Joe, I'm so sorry, Joe. Are you okay, Joe? You know what I mean? And she's tall and statuesque and gorgeous, and she's fucking smacking this motherfucker. Oh, and there's one where I'm like, Joe, you're selling the seed too much. Joe, you're overselling the seed. He's like, I'm not overselling nothing. She fucking beat the shit out of me. She's like, she fucking cracked me a good one. Because at one point, okay, look, guys at home, if you slap somebody with the fingers are bendy, all right? So the striking surface is here. This is your striking surface for the slap. The one that I told him, like, dude, you're overselling it. You're overselling it. It was when she fucking cracked him. She fucking cracked him. She rocked him. His vision was blurred, and he's blind. He was seeing stars, and he's fucking blind. Oh my god, dude!
Like a gift,
and it's on camera. He's like, dude, she fucking cracked me. It's all on camera. So I would say, go to AmericanHorrors.net/shop and get the Flowers on the Razor Wire DVD just
First-
for that.
First link in the
Just for
description.
that.
First link in the description. AmericanHorrors.net. You can get
And this weekend we've got the film fest. We got the film
got the
fest,
film
and
festival.
There's filmmakers from all over the world. And so, okay. So Joe, I talked about Joe and I talked about him. Joe's the director of Flowers on the Razor Wire, the feature. So when I say the blind director, when I say the blind guy, it's Joe. Joe did it. He was my best friend. So I was his interpreter in LA because it was shot in Florida and Los Angeles. So the bulk of the story is shot in Florida. And fucking Joe. This fucking guy, blind. He built the bunker set. So the set of the girl held in a bunker, he built it in his living room blind. The dude fucking with a screw gun, he did it. I can't take that away from the guy. The guy fucking did it. He built this set blind in his living room and then shot the movie. And we're going to play it at noon on Saturday for free.
Right.
Hi, I'm Hart Fisher. I love horror.
We all love horror here at the in Strangeville Hart. I really appreciate your time. You're always so generous with your time with me. I love all these stories you tell. Dr. Ben, you got your last chance to ask Doctor to
Dude,
ask
hit me with questions.
the legendary Boneyard
It's
Press
6:21.
Outlaw
I'm
Comics
gonna have to
man.
put on pants. I don't have pants on right now. I'm doing this whole interview with no pants, and I'm gonna put on clothes. I gotta meet people for the film fest. So fucking
anything you want, Dr.
Asking
Ben.
for a friend. I can't take this for myself. So it's asking for a friend. How, as Hart Fisher, legendary director, horror movie channel owner, etc., you have an actor. How do you get them to do something? They owe you because you helped them recover from a bad situation, or just you helped them at a point. They left a large turd in your toilet at one time, etc. You had to flush it, cut it up. It was horrible. They owe you for that. You know what I'm saying? That's essential. And not to mention names, but if this person was Andy Dick, how would you motivate Andy Dick to come?
I worked with Andy Dick.
And do
no, I worked with Andy Dick.
Well, that's why I'm asking you.
Hold on, Dr. Ben. I'm going to make you reiterate your question, and I'm going to hit you. Okay, here's a story about Hart Fisher, and
how do we motivate Andy Dick?
So Andy Dick was doing a show for Alki David where we first launched American Horrors, the TV network. Okay, so we launched it with Film On, and we've launched it with Alki, who was a heir to the Coca-Cola bottling empire from Greece. So he was an actual, like, Bill Gates billionaire. And I got to learn a lot by being around him. And I really appreciate Alki allowing me to be in his wake as a boat. And I learned so much from working with him. Fuck, I got derailed. Back to the question. Help me.
We got to get Andy Dick.
Okay, so Andy Dick. So Andy. Okay, so here's the story about Andy. I'm about to do a TV show for Alki on LA, a live broadcast show on a broadcast channel in Los Angeles, the American Horror Show. We did 3 episodes. And Andy's people, his comedy writer, when you're working behind the stage, a lot of people, you hang out and you get to get the benefit of sharing your knowledge, and you get to talk to each other. So one of Andy Dick's major comedy writers and I were hanging out, and we're sitting there on the couch in the studio. And he didn't know my level of fame. He did not know my level of infamy. And he said to me, he's like, well, Hart, he's going, Hart, with this show on Alki's channel, you are about to have an audience you've never had. You're about to have access to people you've never had access
Boy,
to
an
before.
audience.
Okay. So, and this is a nice guy. I'm not down to this guy. He was a nice guy. He's like, so you're about to have this access to this audience you've never had before, having no clue about my history. And he starts going, you're going to be all right as long as you don't say faggot on the air. He's like, just don't say fag on the air. Don't do that. And I'm like,
I've been called a faggot since I was in kindergarten. What the fuck?
no,
Right.
Well, also there was also about the word nigger. So
Right.
it was also like, don't say nigger on the air.
Huh?
Well, I did. But fuck you, assholes. My grandma's black. My uncle's black. So fuck you, dicks. Fuck all you assholes. I have no racial problems. None. I love everybody. I base how I feel about somebody on their own actions, not their skin color. Them.
British people need to
Human
stay
being.
warm.
As a person. That's it. And I come from a multicultural household. I come from a multiracial household. So that's something the public does not know about me.
Last question, Dr. Ben. Let's wrap it up. Let Hart get on with his week. He's got a very busy week with the American Horrors Film Festival this weekend in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. First link in the description to AmericanHorrors.net will tell you all you need to know.
I don't know how we got off on this racial thing. I'm sorry, guys, but I felt it was important to get it out there. No, it's good for somebody to hear. Like, hey, man, why are you being a dick?
Like, how do you like? It doesn't have to necessarily be Andy Dick. Like, I didn't actually know you had like any actual like interactions with him, so I was just kind of like
it was hilarious when I fucking did the Andy Dick stuff because the guy's like, don't do this and don't do that. And I'm like, I did it. I already did it.
And he had no fucking clue who he was talking to.
Yes,
a guy who
no clue who I was.
In your time, you were far more famous than Andy Dick ever was in his time.
How do you get
2012?
How do you motivate people when you whether it's an actor or like a co-creator? You know, whether it's Kevin Strange, I'm trying to prod Kevin Strange. Make a comic book. Get off your, what I'm saying? Like,
well, you don't ever need to do that, motherfucker. I'm constantly working.
But what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like when you're
the cover to Gigant, my newest fucking Strangeville creation.
Yeah,
I just released a video today.
Shut the fuck up, Kevin. Shut up now. Just shut the fuck up. Let me help you, Dr. Ben.
What do you do? Get that when you kind of, because that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you have to have that director role. I don't care for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done Chapman and
be silent. Kevin, be silent. Once upon a time, okay, with Boneyard Press and with what I was doing with Boneyard, I was frustrated because I did not have a budget. I did not have money. I did not have it was all me. I was a college student and I just got out of college. I was a bouncer at a bar, and I had an art degree. And so that's me doing comics in 1993. Okay. So I didn't have money. So it was difficult to get the guys to produce the work. It was tricky. It wasn't easy. And I thought in my naivete at that point, I thought, oh, Hart, it's because you don't have money. Oh, Hart, is because you don't have the budget to pay the guys. And I found out when I worked for Danzig, and that's part of. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Love you. When Glenn hired me to run Verotic, I got to find out that it wasn't about the money. Like getting an artist to produce, it wasn't about the money. I mean, getting them to produce and getting them to, Kevin, get off your phone, fuckface. Be involved in the conversation. Fuck you, Kevin. Fuck you, you asshole. You're on the fucking phone on camera. You're telling the whole fucking audience that it's okay to fucking tune out. Oh, I guess what I'm saying is so important, huh? I'm telling this to people that have never fucking heard this before, but hey, the host is on his fucking phone. So I guess it's not important. Thank you, Kevin. I made time for you.
I was like, all right, I'll
Jag
shut
off.
up. I'll work on my
dick.
I'll work on my
What the
emails.
fuck?
While hey, you told me to shut up. I said I'll work on my emails while he tells me to shut
Get
up.
off your fucking emails. Listen to fucking conversation.
Emails? What?
Fucking jag off.
That's not bullying. I take that back. He's not bullying. That's the correct. Call him out.
Fuck you, Ben, for fucking defending him. You fucking jag off. You're fucking
defending you. That's the right.
Fuck you. All right, so guys, getting back to this Danzig shit.
I'm like, Danzig, who cares? I got emails to answer.
Danzig, whatever.
Here's Hart.
I think the best part of the interview is going to be this end part where I'm like yelling at you guys.
Danzig.
Because I'm going to have to get off and like get cleaned up. Like I got to go meet filmmakers. Like people are coming in for the film festival. So like guys are coming in. Like I've got people coming in for the film fest. I'm really excited about it. Like, okay, you say film fest. Oh, it's Hart Film Fest. It's not mom and dad choosing these films. It's Hart Fisher choosing these films. All right. So they're pretty good, man. We have an amazing lineup. I mean, dude, if you're a horror fan, you want to be at this film fest because you're going to get to hang out with all the creators. The filmmakers are there. The actors are there. You could be on the TV show because we have the American Horrors Film Festival TV series running on American Horrors every Friday night after Groovy TV. After Groovy TV on Fridays, we're doing the American Horrors Film Festival series. So if you want to be on TV, show up at the film fest. Do a shout out. You could come down. It's free to be at the fest, okay? It doesn't cost any money to be there. If you want to see the movie, it's $15. Oh, I'm such an asshole. It's $15. It's $15, guys. That's it to go see the movie. Otherwise, it's free. You can hang out, buy books. We got vendors. We got fucking different voodoo people. We got different spiritualists. Oh, nice. Getting nipply, are you?
That's what I'm saying. Like they're like, this is like, is it like an old timey theater with like classic carpet and like?
No, it's just been renovated. It's a nightclub. It's a nightclub. So it's nightclub theater seating. It's a whole other thing. They just renovated the whole fucking theater. It was a magic show place. They were doing like what was the guy's name? Tristan Christ or something. It was so they were doing like the magic show there. And so now we're doing the horror festival.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
hell yeah, man.
Is Abby complaining on the? Is she bitching that I'm on here too long?
Well, that was like half an hour
tell
ago.
people about your horror fest.
That was like half an hour ago.
That's
You've
my
been on here
girlfriend.
for 3 hours.
I'll admit it. That's my chick.
Jeez, guys, you've been on here for 3 hours. Kevin Stranger's on his phone.
No, I'm saying that, you fucking queer, you fucking asshole. How dare you be on the fucking phone while you're fucking hosting the show? That's fucking elementary. What
You're wasting my fucking time, Kevin Strange.
What the fuck? What the fuck? You're hosting a show and you're on your fucking phone while your guest is talking? What the hell's wrong with you? Chop off that gay ass fucking beard and start sucking some cock in a reasonable way.
Hart
You're
Fisher,
like
Hart Fisher, I love you, buddy.
you're just sucking that cock, pretending you're not sucking that cock.
I love you, buddy, even though I talk on my phone while I'm interviewing you.
Dr. Ben, how do you feel?
I said,
do you think he loves me? I don't think he does. He was on his phone.
I've been talking you up. I've been talking you up all week. Listen, hey, Dr. Ben, Dr. Ben.
No prompting.
Dr. Ben. So, Hart, I'm going to tell you this. Last thing. Before we did the Heroes Illustrated interview episode,
which you guys got wrong.
With you interviewing, before we horribly fucked up the Hart Fisher, Frank Miller interview from Heroes Illustrated.
I provoked him with
Dr.
the explain stuff on purpose because I knew nobody else read those books.
And nobody else would do it.
Nobody else in the media, in the press, knew what he was referencing. So the whole point of me doing that was to call him out. and find out what he had to say.
Right.
As a fan, I wanted to hear what he had to say.
And it was a great interview. Dr. Ben, do you agree? Fantastic. Dr. Ben is the whole catalyst for all this. And what he was telling me was, do you think we could get Hart on the show? I said, this is how the Hart Fisher, Dr. Ben. I said, Hart Fisher is a force of nature. You do not ask Hart Fisher to do an interview about his Frank Miller interview. You do the show. And if Hart decides he wants to talk about it, Hart will reach out and he will talk about it. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why we were.
Well, I'm a comic book fan. I'm a fan. Okay, guys.
We all are.
Sure, I'm living the dream. Like for you, Kevin, you understand what it's like to make the journey from fan to.
You won't let me show my cover for my new comic, but yes.
And we get to live this dream like we were kids, and these
100%.
comics were really important to us. And so Frank Miller's work was very important to me. All right. So Daredevil, the work he did on Daredevil was really important to me. Like it really shaped me. It really made a difference in me as a creator. And so when I got the chance to interview him, I wanted to talk to him as a person, not as a fucking bullshit. What are your influences? You guys called it. I didn't want to do that because I wanted to know the stuff that they never ask. Because every other magazine is about selling something. They're about selling this thing, this product. And so for myself, when I interview somebody, it's an honest fan, like trying to figure stuff out, like trying to like learn.
What did I just tell you the other night, Dr. Ben? Like I love comics more now than ever. Like since we started doing this show and digging in and doing these fucking episodes where we analyze the art and we analyze the storytelling of these comics. And as Dr. Ben and I are both creators, we both make comics. I love it. It's a sickness, Hart. It's there's something in us that makes us just.
For myself, Kevin, it's morphed. I agree with you. Fuck yeah, it's an addiction. But for myself, it morphed into doing the TV network. Because since I'm in charge, I don't have to say, hey, I want to go interview Tim Bradstreet. I can go do it. I don't have to ask anybody. And I have this worldwide audience. And a lot of the audience for American Horrors, it sounds like I'm bragging, but it's the truth. I'm a tastemaker, and what's happening with my network is we're setting the tone for horror, and the public does not know that executives from Fox, AMC, all these companies are all watching American Horrors. They are. I know. I'm behind the scenes and I get phone calls. Okay. So I get messages, I get phone calls. So I know that Turner Classic Movies is influenced by American Horrors. I know. I'm told. They told me. Hey, asshole, they fucking told me. I'm not fucking guessing here, you fucking jagoffs. They fucking told me, you fucking dummies. So American Horrors is a huge, huge tastemaker. And we're not sold. The media does not let you know who they're into. Okay, Mick Jagger has his favorite band. Judas Priest, the guys in Judas Priest have their favorite bands. Okay, I'm here to tell you that the dudes from Necrophagia, Pantera, fucking Slayer, fucking Jesus Christ, the Misfits, these are all fans of American Horrors, all right? This is real. It's real. But you're not going to hear that in the press because I feel that American Horrors is the last underground. We're out there in the public, but we're still underground.
Sure. Oh yeah.
That's what I feel. I feel like American Horrors is underground, but we're above ground. And we're available and we're free and we don't have commercials in the middle of the fucking movie. So you can actually watch the movie, not like Tubi. I mean, I like Tubi. Tubi's cool, but fuck, man.
Commercials.
6 minutes and 30 seconds and there's an ad. And every 6 minutes and 30 seconds, there's another fucking ad. It blows the movie. I was watching Stripes with Abby. So you guys saw Abby pop into the fucking chat. So I'm watching Stripes with Abby, but it was blowing the comic flow because it had these different breaks that weren't built into it. Like, okay, me watching the Blues Brothers on the ABC Sunday night movie as a kid was different because they timed the commercials correctly. So the commercials that are happening on Tubi or Freevee or what have you are blowing the flow of the film. They're blowing the joke. It killed Stripes. It killed Stripes. They kept fucking breaking the stupid commercials in the middle of the joke. In the middle of the goddamn joke. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. It's timing.
Yeah.
Timing.
Probably using AI to put those in there. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
But in American Horrors, we don't fuck up the timing.
Yeah.
We don't fuck up the timing. American Horrors is free. And right now, our web player went down. I don't know why. Jesus Christ, I keep battling different tech issues. So the web player's down, but we're free on Roku. Watch the Roku channel. Watch the Roku channel. It's free. It's free. Free.
Yeah. And it's on your TV. Just download it on your TV.
Cockhammer. Right? Like who the fuck? What other fucking channel played Cockhammer, Kevin?
Who the fuck knows who Cockhammer is? But Hart Fisher.
Who the fuck
American
played Cockhammer?
Horror.
Why don't you name me the other TV network that played Cockhammer? Go ahead, Kevin.
No, TV doesn't play me. No, TV doesn't play
Kevin,
me.
I'm waiting. Why don't you name me the TV network that played Cockhammer besides American Horror?
I'm underground. Like you said, underground but above ground. Yeah.
No other network. No other network. We are the only real horror network. The only true horror network is American Horrors. Shudder, corporate, owned by AMC.
Yep.
They won't scare you. They won't do anything dangerous.
All that money goes straight to
They
Israel.
won't challenge the norm. Horror is all about challenging the norm. Horror is all about the monster in the dark you can't see. I am the fucking monster in the dark. And you could see me. You could see me. And I'm here on American Horrors. Every day, every night, I'm on American Horrors. I'm your nightmare. I'm Hart fucking Fisher.
Amen, brother.
With my apple cider.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Dr. Ben, thank you for joining us on the channel. Hart, love you, brother. And I mean,
thanks, guys, for letting me come on and clarify a little bit of the Frank Miller interview. Like, none of what I did with these guys was about provoking them to see how they react. It was an honest, professional to professional. I want to know why. That's what it was. Not provocation, not going to poke you and see how you dance. No, as a professional, I wanted to know.
We're going to track down that journal interview with you and Todd McFarlane. We're going to do it again. We're going to fuck it up again. And I hope, Hart, that you
I'll come back, you fucking guys. I'll fucking come back, Kevin.
All right.
I got a soft spot for you fucking oddballs.
We love you, brother. Love you, Dr. Ben. Link in the description to AmericanHorrors.net. Go to the film festival this weekend. Check it out at AmericanHorrors.net. Download the Roku channel, AmericanHorrors.net. Watch amazing movies, including my feature film, Cockhammer, on AmericanHorrors.net. Boneyard Press, Mystery Box, $25 gets you all kinds of great shit. Let me drop these last few. What did he say? Your Rob Liefeld? That Rob Liefeld interview is the one. Maybe we'll cover it. The late great Ed Piskor covered it. Hart, I want to thank you again as we close out. Thank you so much again for joining me on the night Ed Piskor left this world. Yeah. That was such an important moment for comic book fans, and they continue to this day to reach out to me and tell me that you and me trying to work through it that night really helped them process what had happened. And you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to lend me your time, and you did. And as I keep saying, I consider you a friend, brother, and I appreciate all the time you give us here at the channel. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Dr. Ben, what do you have to close with?
Yeah, thank you. You know, it was a pleasure. Fantastic getting to meet you. Like, I would disagree with you about Sin City not being an homage and him not being an over the top. You know, like, watch the beginning of the Sin City movie.
Read the books.
I've been
read the books.
I know.
Read Mickey Spillane. Mickey
Burke gets hit like
Spillane
7 times by the car.
The best-selling authors of
Counts
American history. Mickey Spillane.
Spillane. He's a death
I
culture.
love the Sin City books, though. Dude, don't think I don't like them. I love them. I love them. I love those books. I think Frank Miller's awesome. That's part of the okay.
I gotta fuck with you. You're an inspiration.
But that's part of the fight. You figure each other out. You get on the mat. You wrestle. You grapple. You fight. You punch each other. You kick each other, and you get each other's worth. And it's respect. It's respect. So for me to challenge Frank about this, it's just respect. It's just respect. I love it. I think he's fantastic. God damn it, his fucking Spirit movie was an abomination. We'll save that for another.
I liked it, but okay, we'll talk about that.
God, it was an abomination.
On the side,
abomination.
All right, we got to let Hart get to work. He's got a film festival to program, guys.
No,
American Horror.
46. I'm gonna have to get off of here and actually put I got pajama pants on, and you guys can see the light is going down behind my head, and people are all coming in for the film fest. So I'm going to have to jump into some clothes, and I got to go meet and have dinner with my crew because we're shooting an entire TV special around the film fest. So if you want to be on TV, come to the film festival at AmericanHorror.net/shop. We're in downtown Lake Geneva. We've got all these great horror films, but the first film is free. The first film is free.
Gotta go to dinner.
There's Abby. We gotta go to dinner. We're getting euros. Okay, so Hogs and Kisses, one of our sponsors of the film festival, Hogs and Kisses on Tuesdays, has a $5 euro special. So we go down there and we get the fucking euros, and we can spend more money on booze. And as I say, after I'm fucking laying off drinking daily.
We got to get Hart out of here.
We're going to meet some friends. We're going to meet up some crew from the film festival. Are going to be down there at Hogs and Kisses at it's 6:47 p.m. We're going to be down there at 8 p.m. at Hogs and Kisses in downtown Lake Geneva, eating some euros, having some fun.
Hell yeah.
Listen, if you could stick around for just 1 second, Dr. Ben has a question he wants to ask you off air, but we're out of here, gang. Thank you so much for all the questions. All the chats.
Fuck you, Dr. Ben. I'm not going to stick around. Fuck you, Dr. Ben.
I'm not reading your Dahmer comic now.
We're out of here. Hey, love everybody. Thank you for joining us. R.I.P. Ed Piskor. See you later.